Howdy folks, and welcome to Adventures in Alberon, our 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign, where the hero's biggest challenge is themselves. Joining me tonight, I have Matt, Miles, Allie, and Tina. And as per usual, I'm Joe Treff. I'll be your Dungeon Master this evening. A couple quick things before we get started. First of all, hello to all the people who just joined in. Campfire Quest, Talon, Dicey Encounters, which we'll talk about you in a second, Drew. Before we get everything started, just a couple of announcements real quick. First of all, Campfire Quest, who I believe actually just rated us, had an awesome 25-hour live stream because it happened over the daylight savings time.
I was going to say, they're coming right off of that and they're going to keep
No.
watching.
They did it last week, I believe. It was super cool.
Souls.
They raised over $1,000 for charity and just did an unbelievable job. So, great work there. Awesome. Definitely check them out. Campfire Quest if you haven't already. We also wanted to thank Drew from Dicey Encounters. He lied to me and said that he was going to send us a bunch of stickers, and then he sent me these super cool Adventures in Alberon dice. So thank you so much for that. If you haven't checked them out, Dicey Encounters. There you go.
Sorry, camera, that's totally not refocusing on that at all.
It automatically focuses, so it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Stop. Jesus.
So, definitely check out Dicey Encounters. Awesome dice. Very, very unique if you want something that is different than the kind of stuff that you would normally get. This has real moss in it and just a faint bit of a shimmer. You can check out our Instagram. We have pictures of all the sets because all of our characters have their very own.
Mine's got blood.
Yeah. Another thing, really quick, we updated our website finally, so it is no longer, as it used to be, the graveyard. It's temporarily gone.
No. You still have that list, though.
I still have the list.
They're all going to come back as undead now.
Anyway.
You shouldn't have said that.
Anyways, definitely check out the website. We have a little bit more about the reasons that we're doing the stream and some of our goals down the line now that we've actually started to progress a little bit more. There's also links to some of the people who have supported us. Dicey Encounters is up there. Our fantastic artist, Frederica Velova, is up there. There's a link to her stuff, which is of Ink and Legends, as well as all the products that we use. So there's a link to, I want to say... I can never remember his name, but the person who makes our awesome status markers, WildBot 3D. There's a link to them. There's a link to all the different stuff that we use. So if you're interested in any of it, you can find it. Other than that, the only other announcement we have is that we're using Sirenscape, which is an awesome digital tool set for Dungeon Masters or players, or just if you want to hear the sounds of battles on the high seas at any point, you can just play it whenever you want.
Right before that big meeting.
Yeah, right before that big meeting.
Put
Gets
it
you in
on.
the mindset,
Yeah.
Or you can listen to this great jungle
Fish
music.
market.
Anyways, unless there's any other announcements, we can get back into our game. So, let me change our music to something just a little bit more appropriate.
Finger gang theme, .wave.
.wave? Yeah, we need a theme. That's a thing that we'll figure out at some point.
Oh, yeah.
So, last time that we played, all of you, the Finger Gang, set sail for the Heart, an island located central within the sort of Sunrest Island loose conglomeration of various islands that make up this nation. You eventually arrived at the Heart after a relatively safe journey, over the course of which you guys finally learned a little bit about Thistle's ritual, the ritual of the offering. He told you that every 10 years, the upland and the lowland furbolgs, who at one point had lived on a single island that has since been split by a massive titan, they send 2 furbolgs each with offerings to appease this titan and keep him bound where he is. I believe that you guys found out that Mistra gave her life to bind this massive titan named Iratuk within the Soul Tree. Melora kind of helping to create that prison. But you guys made your way through the Violet Coast and into the Somberwood, this beautiful, dark forest with this faint bit of golden pollen that's just drifting down, sapping some of your energy. You ended up finding or stumbling across this shambling mound, this huge creature with mushrooms and bits of vines. You guys engaged in combat, doing a substantial amount of damage to it before the will-o'-the-wisps appeared, managing to heal it back somewhat, but it wasn't any match for a couple of really powerful attacks from you guys. You're able to defeat it and move on to the entrance that Thistle had pointed out to you guys. The entrance into a chamber called the Lair of the Beast with Many Eyes. You guys found a small depression within a tree, and pushing it, the trunk opened, revealing a very smooth pathway going down. A very smooth pathway going down. There are roots that have grown within this clearly manually hollowed out tree, and they grow, creating this twisting set of almost like a vine ladder. It's definitely easy handhelds for you to go down. Drops about 15 feet into the ground, and you can see, not the bottom seems to drop into darkness, but it does flare out, giving you the sense of a larger space underneath. The smell that you guys experience here, it's cold and heavy. There are elements of rotting fruit, vaguely sweet, perhaps a bit of iron as well. Finger Gang, it's about 4 p.m. What do you guys want to do? You have roughly... You guys are scheduled to be picked up at 1 a.m. by Sade off the Violet Coast. About 9 hours, give or take.
All right, Thistle.
Let's get her
Here we
done.
are. We doing this thing?
He's right. Is this?
Yeah. Did you
All
guys
right, let's
want
go
me to...
kill the thousand-eyed beast.
No, you
Let's
did.
go.
Definitely don't go first. I'll stick with you.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
it didn't work out great.
No.
back
We'll
there,
we'll
so-
keep you in the middle. You're
You
the
stick
precious cargo
behind
here.
me, buddy.
Oh, thanks.
I'll get
Hunter.
the rear.
All right. So, in terms of descending, it is a very narrow tunnel that goes down, so you would need to go through one at a time. What order do you guys want to drop down?
After you, Gunter.
I would put
Yeah, I'll
Tank
go
up front,
first. And
I'd have Tank be right behind
I
you.
think I'll periodically.
So am I behind Thistle?
Well, I'm
Yeah.
keeping my guard up, to say the least. I'm
Gunter,
looking out
Tank,
for traps.
me,
I'm getting ready to
Thistle,
cast
Heinrich.
find traps, but
Morwen.
I'm waiting until I get some sort of
Wait, where's this? Oh, so I'm behind.
noticeable
Okay.
If you're
thing
taking
that
through,
is
you're behind
off
it.
that may be some sort of trap.
Okay, so why don't you make a perception check
Let's
as you begin to
switch it
descend? It's easy enough. It's a
No,
narrow
here.
space, and with these
We're
vines
switching.
that have,
No, that's
or maybe
a lot.
actually
No,
roots
that's
that have
too
grown
much.
in again through the tree and down, very easy to climb.
Except that I am sleepy.
Miles,
So
we need more
that
power in the
is-
caboose. Get in the back.
It's an 8.
It doesn't really matter,
Okay.
either of them.
As you descend and get a little bit lower, you do see there are elements of rock that kind of crop up. The ceiling itself is not terribly high. A little difficult to see the floor from where you are, maybe 15 feet in total. Definitely grayscale. It is dark within this chamber. With an 8, I mean, you can see the floor is stone, but outside of that, you don't see much.
Okay.
It is going to be a 15-foot drop, though, to get from where you are down to the bottom.
Down to the bottom.
What's the hold up out there?
Just steady foot.
What's the light like?
Dark.
Great. I can't see.
Oh. Excuse me.
I'll
Your
get.
small
I'm
cat
gonna-
broke from behind
Yeah.
you.
Do you still got that torch, Shay?
Cat gas.
Probably, yep. I do.
You have a couple of torches. I think you have 2 left.
Yep.
Everyone keeps giving you their torch.
It's true.
Forgetting who gave them to
You guys are just milling your torches out of your group slowly.
I
Well,
think
with the only
in
person who
this
can't see in the dark.
It's
Yeah.
true.
order, if we're all dropping down, I am going to give some distance between us because for whatever reason, if there's like attack from behind, then I want time to see it.
Okay.
So I'm not the like if something goes to attack the end.
So you're
of
going to
the-
give them a little bit of space before you follow them down because you're taking up the bottom. Okay, that makes sense. So are you just dropping down?
just to be extra cautious.
Yeah, I think I'm like, there's a drop down.
Do you need a
So
rope?
you can make-
Kerplunk!
Do you need a rope? You got a rope?
Yeet the
I
dwarf!
have a rope. I think Gunther would just kind of like slowly make his way down off the edge and then kind of like drop down from his fingertips.
Sure, make an athletics or acrobatics
I'm
check.
tying her
your
up
choice.
regardless because we need to leave.
Ooh, natural
Okay, so you're just
20.
gonna do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
no
once
problem.
once I get there, I don't know who else in front of me is dropping down.
Sure.
But like, if no one has by the time I get there, I'm going to secure a rope so we can leave.
I kind of like get down on my hands and knees and then scooch myself off the side of the ledge.
You're yeeting yourself.
Gently lower myself, so I'm just kind of holding on by the fingertips, and then I'm like, "Ah!" and I just drop.
All right, give me just
I
one.
would imagine like
we hear a diaper
probably like
crunch?
A little
a
bit.
10-foot drop because
Visual here.
I'm only like 5 feet.
The problem is, so for a brief period of time, you guys were in a place where I had to get so much prepared that
And
for
we
this
just
particular
went
region.
And we just left.
through.
Well, I have
Yep.
so many maps now.
Yeah, just, you know.
So I just gotta find this real quick. I think it's this one. Yes. So. This cool skull that we got here now.
Nice.
Do we need more?
Get the mats.
More things, yeah.
He's right there.
No, get the rubber mats.
Ew.
No. They should just be on the
So
side.
these guys
of
are all
it.
still
They are.
Okay,
One second.
that's
drop.
fine.
You literally dropped
Oh
him.
dang! I dropped like into the middle.
Did you do a
Now,
tuck and roll? Help those wobbly knees.
Make a perception
Yeah.
check now that you're within. You have rolled a 20. I'm going to say you land pretty quietly. Especially for Gunter. I mean, you feel some pops in your knees. You are 287. But you do you make that sound?
No.
Probably.
I mean,
So go ahead, make a
in
perception
all
check now that you're
reality.
down there. And you do have dark vision, I believe. So
I do have dark vision.
You're
but
rolling
I
just a
am
flat roll.
Sleepy disadvantage. Ooh, 13.
13. Okay. So 13, you are aware now that you're down and within this chamber. It is cold. It is fairly raw. You also are noticing that you're hearing sounds. It's not quiet. You hear every now and then just kind of this. It's kind of like a footstep.
Someone's scraping.
Yeah, it certainly does. And then you hear off, maybe to your right, another very similar sound. And then from way back in this general area, you do hear this kind of faint.
I'm gonna instinctively touch, like, I'm gonna resistance myself.
Sure. You cast resistance on yourself. What do you?
Oh no, it's just whenever I do another saving throw.
Whenever you do another saving throw, okay. We'll say just you can put this. I'll put this on Gunter right now, just because you're doing that.
I roll
Let me
a
pull up the
D4.
proper music here.
Add it to one saving throw.
All right, so you land down there. You do see in the darkness now, your eyes adjusting and following these sounds. There are these humanoid figures. And you do hear this is the source of the sound. You see it step forward once and drag this fairly mangled leg. In the darkness, difficult to make out a lot of details of these figures. Humanoid, roughly human size. They are shambling as they go, and they seem to be walking without too much purpose.
I'm gonna hide.
Okay, make a stealth check.
I'm gonna like try to duck under or like behind a
Girl
rock, and then ooh, nice. 19. Yeah, 19 flat.
Okay.
Well, he
Um,
deserves it.
And then I'm gonna be like, "There's some things down here, guys." Kind of like whisper, but it's like Gunter, so not a great whisper.
Okay.
So he uses thaumaturgy.
Yeah.
Just
Unfortunately.
Thaumaturgy can make it really quiet too, right?
doesn't
Lands next to
thaumaturgy
you.
also like
However,
throw your voice?
You can
so
throw
you
your voice.
could like whisper in my
That's
ear.
true. I
You
could,
can like distract people.
You just never
Yeah.
choose to use it that way.
just use it to like expend. My
I need
life.
somewhere to sleep.
As you whisper up kind of quietly, you see this dark shape sort of descend, and then there is just this loud landing of metal and iron as Tank lands loudly in plate mail. Plate mail is not fun for stealth.
I'm just like,
You see these two humanoids just shift and immediately begin heading in your way. You hear other sounds behind.
do they see me?
It's unclear, but I need all of you to roll initiative since we are getting right into
I mean, sure. What else were we gonna do?
it. Ooh,
Ooh, farts.
Wow,
us,
I
right?
think this is my best initiative roll
I
like
said
a 5.
ever.
You did.
17.
Not bad.
You did.
Excuse me. I'm having some issues. I hate love coffee. What's happening?
I don't know.
I feel like you're gonna vibrate out of your chair.
I have the shakes.
Yeah.
Anybody natural 20 on initiative order? All right, 25 to 20. Ooh, 20 to 15.
19.
17.
17,
16.
16.
Wow,
19.
second?
What is your raw dex score?
Characters?
Raw.
Who's?
Shay.
18.
Okay. I'm gonna go first. Gunter way up on the top. Look at
Nice. That's because he was proactive on this
that.
one.
Heinrich, what are you sitting at?
Flopping right
8.
down.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna get into this one if I don't need to.
But you have so many powers.
No, I don't. I can
The
get.
power of friendship and love.
I can get hit. That's a pretty good one. I can distract people. I guess that's always pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone needs bait.
All right, so
I'm pretty good at
They're
baiting.
like
Shay,
Ah,
three hands
you were up
to the
top.
gun.
Yep.
and you can hear this kind of like little bit of a Gunter whisper, and then this loud metallic clang as
Followed
tank
by,
lands down at the bottom. And then you start to hear these kind of sounds as these
Wonderful.
figures begin to shamble towards you.
Well, I'm
not as
still
a
up
mound
top.
though.
You are, and there is, based on the order that you guys are going in,
Well, I'd be next because Tank just went
you
down.
would be next. So you do have a clear shot down if you want. It is dark.
Sure. Well, I would have a torch.
Okay. So
So
you
I think
drop
we
down.
determine
You do
that.
not take fall damage.
I do not.
You want little flames for
torch?
fire.
Sure.
For
Why not?
light.
Why
A
not?
circle
Why
If you
of
have the
light.
tools, why not do it?
Absolutely.
All right, so dropping down, you can see
What do I see?
Gunter and Tank. You also now, I'll say with this flame out, as the flame, you notice there are more figures
Sorry,
moving
listeners.
towards you.
Wonderful.
Cute flames.
Coming around this way. There's another one following this.
Sweet.
You are also noticing here.
Wait.
Now that you're dropping, there are elements of the wall that are
Oh wow,
scorched.
you're a cleric.
You're also noticing, probably
That's
it looks
probably
like
undead.
there is like a pathway that is somewhat obscured in this direction. But at this point, there are all of these humanoid figures bearing down on you guys.
Does the scorch pattern on the walls look uniform in any way?
Would you
or-
like to use your action to make
No,
a
I don't.
passing glance? Hard to tell. There are blackened marks on the wall.
Wonderful.
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna drop the torch where it is, and
Okay.
I'm gonna hit the one closest that way.
This way, okay.
Cause why not? 21.
21 hits. Go ahead and roll
Nice.
damage. 7. So you dropping down fairly stealthily for you, and then followed down by Tank, who just lands heavily. These creatures begin to rush towards you, and all of a sudden, you don't hear anything, but you see Shay just drop. Her knees barely bend. It's a very, very easy landing. And before you can even register that she's there, there is just this flash of movement, and she's gone. There is this torch left behind. You rush up, and as you get close now, the smell hits you, not as strongly as you would imagine. This creature, its eyes cataract, sunken in, the skin sallow. It's dry down here. And you notice the flesh is not rotting or like pussing in any way. It appears like it's old. And is slowly dried back so that you can see the teeth fully exposed, elements of the bone actually poking out around the sockets of the eyes.
Beautiful.
Definitely a zombie. You fought these before.
Frank the Skull's
Beautiful.
getting a buddy.
7
I get-
damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get 2
This
more.
is
Okay.
good.
It's
This
another
is good.
21.
21, that hits.
8.
8 points of damage. All right, so the first one you drop in, you just strike it right in the ribs. You hear something snap, although it doesn't seem to affect it that much. You hit it again. This time you hit it on the other side, and the whole body kind of crumples in slightly. It's looking pretty hurt.
One more for good measure.
Sure.
That is 19.
Yeah, that hits.
Wonderful. 10.
10. With this
Nice.
final one, you grab it by the shoulders, and as it looks up at you and just, you snap its spine with your knee. It crumples over, basically bent in half.
Double
That
dead.
one's dead.
Nice.
Yeah, well
I'm
done.
gonna duck back over and kind of hover a little bit behind Tank.
Do you want to go like through that?
Not
range here?
like on this side still, but like
Kind of like
I got you.
half behind him, kind of. Yeah, there you go. Good enough.
Oh no, the flame went out.
That is your turn. So,
Oh jeez. Oh man.
moments.
Oh man.
Gunter, you noticed this first. You had heard a moan, although not from these creatures. It had seemed a little bit larger.
Oh, this is probably the Thousand Eyes guy.
Is it a
Well,
googly
just
eye?
Oh, fuck, it's a beholder. God damn
Oh
it.
shit, pants.
You see this
Ew!
awful, purpley, swollen skin, elements of veins that have actually blackened and then
Zombie
burst. There's a massive eye in the center of this corpuscular, spherical being. And these tentacles that rise off, many of them limp, some of them with blind eyes on them. You get the sense that this creature also zombified. And now, getting a little bit more of a sense for this battle, these zombies are probably things that have wandered in here before. The bite of this beholder is probably not something you want to experience. However, now that it comes around the corner, Gunter, it sees you.
Oh jeez.
Gunter, go ahead and roll a d4 for me.
Oh jeez.
I mean, we've all played Zelda. Just smack it in the eye.
Right?
Is this a 2?
2? Okay. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw as one of the eyes on top just lazily flicks around, and then there
That's
is
mean. You
these
have to make him roll
ripples
his own.
of
Plus
blue,
9.
ripples
Do I
of blue
have
rings that spread out of the
disadvantage
eyes and
on
then
the wisdom
refocus
saving
on
throws
you.
too?
You do. All wisdom saves and checks for the next
But I have a
23
D4.
hours.
I have a D4.
I thought you had
Fantastic.
advantage from resistance.
Yeah, it's not advantage. It's just an added D4
To the resistant, to
the saving,
yeah.
the next saving throw.
Well,
There's a 1 for that, and I hope I don't get beholden. Oh, but I'm definitely getting beholden.
he rolled
with
a
that.
2 with 2
Okay.
dice.
Double.
So
one-
3
oh
total?
wait, well, disadvantage.
Oh, okay, so it could be a natural one.
It's a 2.
Okay.
Well, do you get anything else?
These blue rings kind of spread out.
Oh, actually, I guess
Okay.
it is 6 plus. It's
I mean, I
a
doubt
7.
that.
Oh,
but it's a
okay.
natural 1, so like, fuck.
Fair. As these blue rings spread out, like in these sort of patterns, and then refocus on you, you see this zombified beholder, and it seems to swell and grow. You see
Ew.
these black shapes and shadows moving behind it. You are considered frightened of it for the next minute. You can
Oh,
make a
wait.
save at the end of your next turn.
Don't I-
Resistance
don't
goes
I
away
have,
too, yeah.
Resistance does go away because you used it on your last save.
Yeah.
You are frightened.
Not able to be frightened.
You are stout, which means I believe you cannot. There's something else to you being shoved. But look it up. Let me know if there is something different.
Yeah,
That is going
I
to
feel like
be-
in character Gunter can be very easily frightened.
Oh, I'm
so.
sure. That is its turn. Gunter, what do you want to do more when you're on deck?
Is there any way that I can snap myself out of this fear, or do I have to just run away?
No, so frightened is a status condition. And when you are frightened, give me just one sec. I have it listed right here somewhere.
You can't move towards, and you have to use your action to dash away from it until you can't see.
So you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source is within line of sight.
Okay.
And you cannot willingly move closer to it.
Okay.
But you can
Right.
move.
Right, so it's the other thing of when you use it on like monsters. That's how they have to behave. I mean,
Okay.
What do you wanna do?
I think.
Oh, thank you, Mossy Frog. Appreciate that.
Oh, awesome. Thanks,
I'm
Mossy
gonna,
Frog.
what?
I also love the name.
Yeah, Mossy Frog is a
Mossy
great name.
Frog? Yeah. What happened?
Gave us.
They donated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay!
Oh shit! You know what we should do? We should just have like, you know those like you go to like a
I'm gonna-
baseball game and they just have like the rack thing that they wear like with suspenders.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah,
should just
yeah.
have that filled with shots, and every time someone donates, we have to take a shot.
Oh, Jesus.
Just kidding.
I'll do it.
The subscriber event that I was talking about. Anyways,
So I'm
Shot
running
of what,
to like
though?
this
Call it
little
lights out in
alcove
Alberon.
here,
okay.
and I'm gonna like duck
Depends
in
on the
here
amount.
and
Yes.
cast
I mean, it can very well be coffee.
protection from evil and good on
That would
myself.
fuck me up
Okay.
more.
So
I will take
You can
coffee
do this
shots all
last
day.
thing again. Or you could give yourself that. I'll take
What did you
this.
done to do there, Gunter?
I'm trying to and undead is
And you're touching yourself?
yes.
Okay.
Gross.
So, Gunter, as you duck into the corner and you kind of hug yourself, making your Gunter noises, there is this pulse of energy that does spread across you, and you feel as if you are somewhat protected against undead.
Okay. Do I have the advantage on saving throws against being frightened now?
You do. However, is it a wisdom saving throw? It is a wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
Which means it's a flat roll now.
Okay.
It's better
So-
than disadvantage.
So end of your turn, if you want to repeat that save, you can.
That is what I would like to do.
Go for it.
Oh, this is all Gunter's turn.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
16
16?
plus 5.
So as
Oh.
this wave
Nice.
spreads across you and you feel yourself steeled against this unholy kind of creature, there's this confidence that surges back to you with it. You almost swear you feel the ground shake as if thunder passes through you. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Mormon, what do you want to do?
Am I no longer frightened?
You are no longer frightened. You can remove that status marker.
Get that out of here.
Oh.
I guess
I
we're
think
not in the
genius.
order anymore? Or are we in the
You
order?
are,
How does this
you
really
can-
work?
So at
if
the
I'm-
moment, nobody is currently trying to get down. You just saw Shay just disappear as you heard a bunch of noises begin.
Well, okay. Is there a rope tied? You haven't done that yet?
There are, looking in, there are roots that have grown up through the hollowed out tree and then down, so you can handhold yourself to about 15 feet up and then drop if you want.
I feel like I'd be pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But I am first. No, I'll drop down first and then I'm gonna go snuck.
Sure. So you drop down, make an acrobatics check. I would imagine.
Oh, gladly.
You land right in front of Shay.
So that's a 17.
Yeah, no problem. You just leap in and just drop down very, very quietly. You can see these humanoid figures rushing towards you. There is a large, bulbous creature that is drifting towards you.
Are these what is this? Is this elevated or not?
Those go up to the ceiling, so they rise up and then connect to the
they're
actual
covered.
ceiling.
Stalactites.
Yes, they are
Okay.
covered. They're actually sheer rock, and it seems now that you're in here and you've seen this creature, these blackened marks are disintegration rays that have probably carved out this space.
All
Right.
right.
Nest.
So I'm going to. How much movement was that? On, like-
It's like 5 feet because you stepped forward and dropped. You
dropped,
didn't actually
okay.
climb down.
I'm going to go behind Shay. Wait, let's see. 5, so. Alright, I'm gonna go around here. And bonus action hide.
Sure, make your stealth check.
That would be a 30.
A 30. Okay. So
rolled
Shay,
a
as you
19.
rush back, and Gunter, as you
Biz
duck
called
in to
Snuck
like,
as fuck.
as you, that would be a great T-shirt. Also, as you duck in and take cover, and you feel this kind of wave go over,
It's just like
there's a
your
moment where you
eyes.
see these eyes like
It
gleam
says
in the
Snuck as
darkness,
fuck.
and they blink, and they're gone.
Wow.
There is no more Morwen. You feel very hidden. Is that your turn?
More.
That's like par for the
Well, oh
course,
wait,
though.
no, I'm going to, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
see?
because I have an action, so I'm going to, I guess if anything comes near me, I'm going to ready Puss and Butts
Okay.
for the
So-
sake of
okay,
it. So
fair
weapons
enough.
drawn and ready.
So an attack in case somebody comes within range to attack you, or for you to attack.
If I'm discovered.
It
no,
is a
not
zombie's
discovered.
turn.
Say goodbye to
And
They
tag
enter
them.
your area of threat.
The final zombie
Into my
come around
personal
from
space.
Yes. My bubble, as it were.
here. You're very slow.
Good. Let them get close to me.
Let them get close to me.
This one actually is going to come right up to you, and you watch it go right by. You can make an attack as you go.
Yeah.
Dang, it's too dumb to notice.
Would it also be a sneak attack?
It would be considered a sneak attack, yes.
Dang,
Okay.
sneaky,
Do it.
sneaky.
15?
15. 15 hits. Go. Yeah, hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Because you do not have terribly high ACs.
Right. So that's for an 8.
8 damage.
Currently. 1 second though,
Okay.
because I'm Snooks.
Oh right.
So 8,
Oh jeez.
14, 15, 21,
Jesus, I think it's dead.
26.
As it runs by, you can see its gaze doesn't even pass over you. It's intent on Gunter, and it runs by, just kind of giving off this. As it like opens its mouth ready to bite Gunter, you just take pus and just stick it right through the head. You can see it just
Meow.
exits through, and it just
Meow
kind of
meow!
You pull it out and it just drops to the ground, dead. Well done.
And I get down on my knees and go,
Okay, Gunter, you hear this weird sound coming from behind you. Only one of them can attack you on this turn. It is going to.
And it's at disadvantage, right?
Because
unless it's
it is. It's undead. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
I imagine that the zombies would be undead.
I would hope so.
They're dead adjacent.
If not, I'm not sure what a zombie
14 to
is.
hit.
Dead adjacent.
That is a failed
Dead
hit.
adjacent.
So as it like goes forward, it swings. You can feel it hit you, but your armor and general rough exterior, you and Gunter, you shrug it
You
off. No
ain't so
problem.
hot.
That is their turn. It is Tank's turn. Tank is going to shift around to try to help Gunter.
I don't need your help.
He's going to take 3 attacks with this huge. Wow, Tank.
Has he hit yet? I don't think he's hit yet.
He rolled a
Yes.
with his modifier.
He did hit once last
He rolled
time.
a 7, a 10, and a 12.
Yeah, really nice pick there.
2 of which hit.
Okay,
Actually.
the last time he hit, though, he did a lot of fucking damage in the one
He
hit.
did hit.
He did.
Yeah.
And he's hot.
He's like an
I don't think that cancels it out.
He's hot.
Doesn't cancel it out.
no.
Does not.
I don't know if in canon he's supposed to be especially hot.
I don't think he is.
Morin has a very particular taste.
She does.
So, as he rushes forward, he swings 3 times. The first one goes wide as the zombie stumbles forward towards you. He swings around once and he cuts like a big slice of flesh right off the back, which actually like peels away, revealing elements of bone for the back of the rib cage. He swings again and just cuts that whole side of ribs away. The body sags in somewhat, but the zombie is still up. That is Tank's turn. Heinrich, what do you want to do? And then we're back to the top, Shay.
Has Thistle gotten anything?
Thistle's not going down.
No, good. I mean, like, Thistle, can you tie a rope?
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on, but I could tie a rope.
And then I hand him mine. I'm like,
Okay.
tie this as tight as you can and make sure it's tight. This is the only thing you have to do for the next, 5 minutes.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, and then I just mosey my way down safely.
Okay, so it's hand over hand. It will take
I
a
may
little
not
bit to get down.
I may not drop if I see that it's not advantageous either.
Okay, so getting down to the top from where you are, you do have dark vision. You're a tiefling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's the torch going. You see a variety of these undead figures, their flesh dried and tight to their bodies. You also would see off in the distance this massive undead beholder that seems to be bearing down on Gunter.
Okay. And I'm hanging off of the roots still.
Correct.
And that's a 15-foot drop. How much movement have I used getting down there?
30, because it's 15 feet down and 15 feet down. So you went 15 feet down to the bottom of these roots.
Right.
You're now hanging, kind of, not hanging.
So in
but
terms
you're-
of
you're
using
above.
my movement.
You've used your movement. You could use.
Well, I haven't let go and gone all the way down yet. That's what I'm wondering.
Correct. But
Yeah.
so you don't have a climbing speed, do you?
Oh, okay. True.
So
Yeah.
15 feet is
Okay.
30 feet of movement.
So while I'm there, I guess with my other hand, I'll reach into the bag and grab a stick of dynamite. We're doing
Okay.
it.
So you,
I didn't expect it to be this unholy down here. So.
in your mind, you think dynamite. You reach into the haversack, and your
Yeah.
hand just closes around a stick
Right.
of dynamite.
And I'm just gonna hold it securely, and
Okay.
I'm not doing anything with it.
Sure, you're getting ready with dynamite.
I'm just gonna watch and see what goes on here. I might put it back next turn depending on what goes on.
Shay, what do you want to do?
The one that is closest to me is getting hit.
So you rush up now, standing again next to where you dropped your torch.
22.
22. Yeah, that hits. Roll damage.
5.
5. Okay. You run up, you strike it right in the side, and you feel like the bone actually give away. Your fist goes through. It's so brittle that you don't deal a whole lot of damage, but it does deal damage.
Take it. 19.
19 hits.
7.
So the second time, as you have this broken away part, you reach in and just yank away other elements of the rib. The sternum comes loose. You can see dried and blackened flesh within. There is no beating heart. This is certainly a dead creature. If you ever had any doubt about
you
that.
washed your hands?
When's the last time any of us
Whenever-
used the
whenever-
bathroom?
Canonically,
It's gonna be
in Biss.
I thought you were about to ask her, her hair, and I was like, that's super rude.
It is
Yeah.
a little bit.
Also, she has very short hair.
Yes.
I'm talking about you just pulled a
Yeah.
dead dude's
One more
guts
time.
out.
Gunter,
What
I'm
was
not
it?
sure you have any right to talk.
Oh no.
25.
25
There
hits,
is
yeah.
like knowingly.
5.
5. So now with elements exposed, you reach in, you punch it, and this interior blackness cracks and crumbles. Strangely gummy consistency that you were not expecting. It is looking extremely hurt. You can actually feel an element of the spine crack, but not yet give away. It is on its last legs.
I'm gonna back up, kind of like just around the corner. Yeah.
So you back around the corner. It kind of reaches for you, but you're too fast. You just immediately slip out from underneath its grasp and move around the corner. That is Shay. This larger creature here now, Gunter. Actually, yeah, Gunter, roll a d6.
D6. That's a 1.
Okay. Roll a d4, please.
That's a 3.
Drifts a little bit further around. So you see around one of the other eyes, it just lazily moves around. Itself cataract and a little bit broken. It's kind of like caved in slightly. But there is this purple energy, sickly and gaseous and semi-opaque, that floats and drifts before it rushes forwards into your throat.
Is that an attack?
It is an enervation ray, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, jeez. That's a 14.
14 just fails. So,
Wait,
give me
do
a
I
second.
get anything from this though? From protection from evil and good?
So protection from evil and good until the spell ends.
Does
One
that
willing
count
creature
as
you
an
touch is
attack?
protected against certain types of creatures. Disadvantage on attack rolls. This is
Oh, it's a save, right?
it's a save, yeah. So it's not making a ranged attack.
Is it a save against charmed, frightened, or possessed?
It is not.
All right then.
So you're
Good
going to
try,
take
though.
a total of.
You're just having your life drained from you.
Yeah,
Just.
sounds about right.
That's going to be 34 points of necrotic damage.
Oh, jeez.
As this, like, it shoves its way down your throat, past your teeth, all of which, there's a number of gaps between them anyways.
It's
like-
mostly gap.
A tooth.
It tastes of rotting eggs and soil and soot. And for a second, Hunter, you do almost swear you can see within this blast these little writhing creatures, although for just a moment, and then it's gone. That is its
Ezra.
turn. That is going to bring
I
us
made her
to
mad,
Gunter.
whatever.
More when you're on deck.
All right.
This is all your fault.
It's
I'm gonna
whatever.
cough a little
I had to
bit,
get rid of her.
and then I'm gonna
Or
be
else it's gonna
like,
keep killing.
"Is that all you got? You ain't so hot." And turn/destroy undead.
Okay. What is the DC for that?
Do it.
They need to
Everything,
make
right?
a wisdom saving throw. All of the zombie or all of the undead creatures within range,
And, within
and it's
range.
30 feet of me.
Oh, yeah, so
all
everybody.
of
Kill
them.
everybody.
Now,
That's
remind
why
me,
they should get
a
close.
great feature for this, I believe,
Yeah.
at this level you have Destroy
So,
Undead.
yes, I have destroy undead, and it's any undead CR1 or below.
And is that when
One
they
already?
fail?
When they fail their wisdom saving throw, they're just instantly.
What is the DC
Decimated.
for this
For
particular
wisdom,
thing?
it's.
Do they even get a save if they're 1 or below, though? I
They
thought
get
it's
a-
just auto.
I think they
it's
get
if
a
they
save.
fail, they're instantly destroyed.
Okay.
Whereas if they fail and they're above CR1,
Right, then
they
they
get
take damage.
To whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they get turned. Its DC is was it 10 plus proficiency plus wisdom is 19.
Okay. Oh, that's really high. All right. For the first one. All right. So you watch as and what is it? What is? Oh, there's one more right in front of you. What is the way that this works? Like, how does this look? Gunter has not done this yet.
I feel like I just say something like "You ain't so hot," and then like kind of like a gust of wind pushing down, and then there's just like wind that kind of blows out in all directions.
Sure.
But it's
From
like,
the top of this tunnel, from this tree space that you climb down, there is a swirling wind as you shout out, "You ain't so hot!" There is this like rumble of thunder as the wind rushes out. You watch. This one just erupts into sparks. This one erupts into sparks. These two seem to be okay. What does it do if they succeed? Those two succeed.
I don't think it does anything if they succeed.
Okay. So, two of the zombies just explode. Little black bits of flesh, almost flakes, spread
Brain
out
matter?
into the air. There is no brain matter. These have been dead
too
for
bad.
long enough that the elements of flesh and stuff are dried out. But it is just ash that is settled across there. Is that your turn?
I'm then going to use my bonus action to do Shield of Faith on myself. So +2 days.
Okay, yeah, because turn undead is a divine feature, right?
That it is.
Nice. Okay. So shield of faith on yourself.
That is it.
Fantastic. Morwen, what do you want to do?
All right. I'm going to go. Let's see.
Okay. You run up, and as you get close to this thing, I mean, it smells bad. It smells heavy and like rotting fruit. It's an unfortunate smell, and it's a big creature.
I bust and butts it.
Okay, make your attack rolls.
Is it sneak attack or no?
It is not sneak attack.
That is a 21
21 hits. Roll damage.
for a 10.
Okay. So you run forward, and with pus in your hand, still little bits of this dried kind of zombie on it, you thrust it forward. It sticks right in and doesn't seem to do very much damage at all.
All right, I'm gonna butts it anyway
Go ahead, roll your damage for that, or roll attack for that, rather.
for a measly 7.
Wait,
7.
I'm gonna channel divinity, using my reaction to give +10 to that.
Okay. So
Alrighty.
17 hits. Yeah. As you go forward, there's a moment where you feel something like slip underneath, and looking down, I mean, there are like pieces of rotting flesh and things scattered around this room.
Gross.
But as your foot kind of gives away, there's this surge of energy, and you feel the floor shake. And you're able to correct your swing, and you just slash across them. You can roll damage for that.
3.
3.
That was
And with this
totally
surge
worth my
of
channel
power generated from Cord and channeled through Gunter, you deal 3 damage to the beholder.
Lame!
I'm gonna use,
You hear echo.
with feline agility,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go, I'm giving myself extra movement, so I'm gonna go 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and
Okay.
bonus action hide.
Okay, roll your stealth check.
18.
18. Okay. You sink back as much as you can into darkness. There is a lot happening. That is your turn.
Yes.
It is the lone zombie's turn. He is going to attack Gunter. Gunter, that's going to be an 11 to hit.
Miss.
He strikes you again, and this time the shield of faith seems to sparkle, and it just, like, the hand doesn't even contact you. It sparks off. That is the zombie's turn. It is Tank.
Smack 'em.
Tank
Oh,
is
no.
going to take
Tank's gonna tank.
3 attacks on that. We'll see. Tank. Oh, natural 20.
Oh, nice.
Good
There
job,
it
Tank.
goes.
That's probably enough, huh?
Yeah, that's going to be 28 points of damage. So as this last one, again, like it hits you and kind of sparks off, as it sort of loses its balance, Tank swings through and cleaves one of the arms off, turns around in a very, very Heinrich-ish maneuver, and then like carves it straight from the
Sideways.
shoulder down. It doesn't quite
Yeah.
bisect it, but it peels back, exposing elements of the spine, and then falls down. This one is also dead. Move that guy. That's Tank's turn. Heinrich, what do you want to do? You're holding this stick of dynamite. You're watching, I mean, you saw 2 of the zombies just explode. You saw one kind of running and then just seems like it almost gets clotheslined and then falls back in the distance.
I think I'm
He
gonna.
went to sleep.
Oh no! I think I'm gonna just drop straight down.
Okay. Or it turned off. Oh, you know what?
No, you didn't plug
You
the
plugged
charger.
in?
Could you plug that in, please?
Yep.
Music will be back in just a second. Thank you, Sirenscape. So, what are you going to do?
So I'm dropping straight down, next to the torch, I guess,
Okay.
which is where everyone else has been falling.
Sure. Make a athletics or acrobatics check.
Acrobatics for 5. Ouch.
5.
That's
okay.
exactly how that happens.
You don't fall prone, but you do take 6 damage as you fall.
Yeah,
Thank you
right.
for these dice, Dicey_Cat. You take 6 damage as you fall. You feel this twinge of pain in your knees. It's something you haven't dealt with before.
No, it's fine. Okay. And then while I'm on my knee, I light the fuse on the torch that's on the ground.
Okay, yeah, for sure. You stick the small kind of wick in, and there's this instant kind of, and it begins to burn quite brightly.
Yeah.
This could be.
Can I quickly
dynamite.
gauge like how long it has?
Yeah, you know that it is supposed to be a 6-second fuse, so you
Okay,
throw it,
perfect.
and then there is that
Yeah, that's right.
turn delay.
Um,
And we're back.
okay. And so I've used movement now falling, right? Or is it like
no, because it
it's-
wasn't. It's climbing that you use it. You
Right,
just
right,
dropped.
right. So I just dropped.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, how do I do this right? I think I'm just gonna.
What are you doing?
I'm going to. Oh, this is so stupid. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just chuck
remember.
it. Just chuck it like. Basically, try to like soft roll so it's like beneath it.
Okay, make an attack roll. Add your dexterity modifier, but not your proficiency modifier, because
Right,
you're not
improv
proficient in
weapon.
dynamite.
Oh, great. Just Dex?
Yep.
It's fucking 7. These ones are fucking me up.
What is your strength score?
10.
Okay. So, as you land, your knee kind of giving out, you light this fuse and you attempt to throw it underhand. It hits the ground way prematurely and just kind of skids in front of you about 10 feet ahead.
Okay.
You would imagine you're probably in the blast radius of this
Yeah. Well, I haven't
stick
moved
of
yet.
dynamite. You have not.
Can I, like, just move forward and, like,
I'll say if you
Nudge
want,
it.
you could run forward and just try to kick it forward.
no, I don't want to kick it. I want to, like, plant and lift it forward, not kick it.
Are you trying to get it to the beholder?
Yeah.
Okay,
Kick
go ahead
it.
and make an
Now
athletics
kick
check.
it good.
You're kind of like straddling the torch.
15.
15? No problem. You kick this forward another like 15
God.
feet. It kind of lifts up. Doesn't quite get to his level, but it's like underneath
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Lands beneath
Yeah. Well, how high up above the ground is he floating?
like maybe 8 feet. Not terribly high.
Yeah, yeah. And then I just back up and try to go as far as I can away.
Okay. Yeah, you can move yourself back. I want
I
to
think
say.
it's like, I think I've moved.
Yeah, you can move yourself 25 feet still.
Right, 15.
Okay.
25. There we go.
That's your turn.
Yeah.
Shay, what do you want to do?
Oh, I also would shout, like, everyone back. I would have totally been like, everyone back.
Yeah, no, I would
Looking
imagine.
mostly at, like, Tank and Gunter.
Can I come around the corner and like pull Gunter back?
So you are going to come around
plunk.
here and you're going to try to pull him around this way?
No, like back
This way.
that way. Yeah.
Yeah, you certainly can. Gunter, are you allowing yourself to be dragged by Shay?
I guess so.
Okay.
I mean, you just saw me throw dynamite.
Yeah.
You see
You've
this
seen
kind
this
of
before.
I'm like
spark.
squinting, like what?
You
Come
see
here.
a spark light and kind of twirl onto the ground and then kind of kick up again. And all of a sudden, as you're trying to figure out what it is, you feel these strong hands on your shoulders, and you are
felt this
suddenly
before.
moving back.
I've done this before.
You get pulled backwards. That is your turn?
Yeah.
All right. It's turn.
These hands, so soft yet so strong. I felt them before.
I know these hands.
Comforting. Your face just like
Okay.
flinches.
It's not going to
out
move.
of-
It is going to.
I was just gonna eat that dynamite.
It is going. Oh, okay.
Does it eat it?
Allie,
Beat it.
can you do me a favor? And for Tank, can you make a dexterity saving throw?
Oh,
please?
he's gonna eat it.
7.
7.
Is it my dex? His dex.
No,
you're
it's his
adding.
dex.
dex.
Yeah,
His
so I'm
dex.
adding 2
Which
to
is,
it.
yeah,
He's the
probably
one
not
who's
much.
dodging the explosion.
He's got
Well,
my
can I
phone.
help?
You don't even.
All right.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
didn't
you don't
see
even
it.
know, yeah.
Watch out for the explosion that is actively happening in your face right now.
Dynamite! Welcome.
Yeah, I'm glad that you saved my face from explosion.
Not bad. All right. So you watch.
I mean, he has a lot of armor on too.
There's
Tough
this
guy.
one of the eyes more intact than the others, still this floating but gray pupil within it. There is this brief glow of yellow energy before it becomes yellow radiance. And there is a sickening display of raw power that erupts from it. Tank takes 44 points of force damage.
And that's not bad?
Yeah. No, that's not bad. He rolled pretty lousy for it. You can see the armor itself actually begins to crisp and burn and glow slightly orange, not quite white hot. But that is certainly matching some of the marks that you're seeing on the walls. That is a disintegration ray.
Oof.
That is its turn. Gunter, what do you want to do?
You're
on deck.
I think I'm gonna cast. Which one do I want to do? I think I'm gonna do Crusader's Mantle.
Okay.
So holy power radiates from an aura within a 30-foot radius around me. Friendliness in other creatures.
1d6 of radiant damage?
1d4 of radiant damage for everyone in range.
That's everybody, I believe. except
While
for
you're
maybe-
holding it? Or is it just...
For the next minute,
Okay.
Yeah.
you just have a d4 to all your
Okay.
damage.
Do you want to put like a ring on him?
I think it hits everybody.
It's
But I'll
everyone
say for
within
the
30
moment,
feet of me.
Even though you're
Except
not
for-
concentrating, we'll
except
just
for
say that
Mormon.
you're...
Yeah.
If you want to just put that
Everyone
on
except
yourself, just
for-
so that we can see that you're doing the Crusader's
So
Mantle.
30 feet of you is 1d4 radiant. Cool.
Yes. And then I think I'm gonna do bonus action, give Shay Shield of Faith.
Okay.
So +2 to her AC.
Mark that down and remind her. +2, you said?
Yes.
All right.
And we're like, oh, thanks for getting me there.
Morwen, what do you want to do? You do see kind of, even from where you hid, there is this kind of thing that has landed at the base of the beholder. I think you saw dynamite used before. So you would have some idea as to what it's
Outside
about to
of
do.
Corn's
I know,
Temple,
I know.
everyone did.
Yeah, everybody. That's a good point. Everybody has seen this.
I saw it up close.
I stay where I am and I'm like,
Thanks.
Okay. So you duck and cover. All right.
Brace
you're-
myself.
Give you 3/4 cover for that.
I also don't
is-
want to move, so I have my feline agility back if I need it.
I will say
Well,
Tank
you got
does
dodge
see
too
this.
as an action.
And
As
you
a
do-
bonus action, but I want that for hiding.
Tank also knows what this is, and you watch as he ducks down and just goes, "Oh shit!" and kind of backs around and heaves himself into this corner. That is Tank's turn. Heinrich, on your turn,
Yay.
it's gonna make a dexterity saving throw, although its dexterity is really low.
+2 to your AC.
It's gonna be a 1. Rolled a
Nice.
2, but
Nice.
it's a 1. Go ahead and roll damage for that. Do you still have the card for dynamite?
It was never a card, but I wrote it down. It's just 3d6.
Yep. And well, yeah,
Well, 25 feet and then 50 feet is half that, but
Yeah.
it's that.
yeah. So,
Ugh. Shitty dynamite.
it was made
Oh,
by a
very
very,
12.
Fat
it
guy.
was made by a very nervous guy.
Yeah.
Not a terrible.
No. Better than that.
The dynamite explodes. There is this massive shockwave, followed by rumbling. Bits of stone begin to rain down. That sucks for the beholder.
Yeah, helped.
As the smoke and bits of rubble do clear away, there are elements of the skin that are on fire. And that terrible rotting smell is just elevated so much more. Like burning hair, like pungent rotting
It's
meat.
the best incense that I could afford.
It is fairly unfortunate in terms of kind of having to experience it.
Yeah.
That
I'm
being
used
said,
to rot.
what else do you want to do? That is not an act. That's just happened. So
Yeah. I'm going to reach into my bag and just get my shield out.
Okay.
The red.
yeah,
Wait, so did it not do much? Did it do a lot?
The Red
I
Shield
missed-
Company.
it did
12.
about the amount of damage that you would expect it to do.
Yeah. So I just take out the red shield that I repainted
Okay,
and equip myself with it
sir. You
because like I can't do much else aside from not die.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's a really important.
I
thing.
know. So that boosts my AC by 2, so I'm at 19.
Excellent.
now.
Shay, your AC is up by 2 as this kind of wave envelops you and you feel
I
powerful.
feel like I would pull the dagger.
It is
out
also
just
your turn.
because.
Okay. Yeah, you have the dagger. and the
Just like
shield.
action, bonus action to really fully get myself ready.
What does. How much debris is there from the dynamite blast?
Raining down, not enough to create difficult terrain. There is like elements of stone that have fallen down.
That slows me anyway, but it's fine. Okay. Going around the opposite way from Gunter. I'm gonna run up and I'm gonna hit it.
Okay, you
why
run
not?
up to this huge, horrifying, smoking, smoldering creature. The smell is horrific, but
I'm
yeah, you
sitting
get
right
up to
here.
it.
22.
That hits. Roll damage for it.
Plus a D4.
You're like
Where's
almost doubling her
D4?
damage.
Damage.
Oh shit, yeah.
There's 12.
So as you go forward, you strike it, and there is this element of electricity that surges off of your hand, dealing additional damage. So 12 points of damage, yeah. That hurts.
Radiant included.
That's shiny.
Next one.
Sorry, I'm like very much in your business.
That's fine. 12.
12. As you hit it the first time, and this bit of radiant light like bursts off of it, it's almost forced to shy away. The second shot that you do, it hits, but it kind of glances off this. Considering how like disfigured and horrific this skin is, it's still fairly tough.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fury of blows.
Sure. Awesome.
22.
22 hits. Roll damage.
Is that still
D4 is for a
additional
whole
D4?
minute.
Yeah.
Your attack.
Yeah,
Every
it's pretty powerful.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
9.
9. Yeah. You go up to it again, and this time, kind of knowing what power is in your hands by courtesy of Gunter, you strike it like dead center, right beneath the eye, right above the mouth, and you see like part of the jaw actually cave in. Some of the teeth now like jagged out of its mouth.
Excellent. And that is... I can math, I swear. 20. 21.
Yeah, 21 hits. 20 hits also.
Wonderful. 9.
9. There's a final discharge of radiant energy as you strike it again. This time, like hitting it right to the right of the side, kind of where you would imagine a temple would be if this was an actual head. Your fist actually sinks into the flesh itself, and there isn't blood or ichor. It is just kind of this dry and leathery skin. But you pull away, and it leaves an actual indentation in the actual body of this creature.
I'm feeling very content.
Yeah,
And then I'm going to back up to where I was.
sure. This thing's looking pretty hurt.
Yay.
However, it is its turn, and it can only really see Heinrich.
Oh, I feel like I was getting cover.
I mean, you're behind. You're like in 3/4 cover. The only person that can really see, it saw Shay move in that direction.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
It is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, and it will see you.
Yeah, that's fine. Guess I would have moved.
Roll a d4 for me.
Wait. No. 4.
Hey.
4.
Well, that worked out.
Well, I mean,
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Maybe.
wait. 19.
19. There's a crackle as this arc of white electric-like energy comes, and as it encircles around you, you raise the shield up, and it just kind of crackles across. You would imagine you would have been paralyzed had you not made that save. However, there is no effects. That is its turn. Gunter, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna go around the corner here and get within 5 feet of this thing.
Okay, yeah, you certainly are within
So
5
that I
feet.
can help. I'm gonna help, I think, Morwin
Okay.
on her next attack with my solidarity action.
Sure.
To try and gain this thing's attention. Be like, hey you! You're gonna die! And then bonus action, I'm gonna
Again.
use my bonus action weapon attack that I get from
Yeah,
solidarity.
go for it. Yeah, that's the best part of solidarity.
Yeah. Ooh, natural 20!
Natural 20. Okay, roll damage. That definitely hits.
Alright, so that's 2d8. 2, 7 plus a d4 of radiant damage.
All right, Crusader's Mantle, and you multiply the d4 as well.
So
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 4.
Nice.
So that's
11.
11.
22.
22.
22 in total?
22
and you
total.
doubled all your dice rolls? Because it is a critical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, do you have any modifiers that you add to it as well? Which would happen
I don't think
afterwards.
so. No, I think that's
Okay.
I don't have my
You
proficiency.
rush forwards, and this time, as you reach into yourself, channeling some element of cord that allows you to do this, you grab its attention. You can see this one blind
Rabbits?
eye begin to shift
Rabbit's
towards you, and as you swing into it, there's this burst of radiant damage that you cleave into it, and even for you, a pretty beefy dwarf, there is a strength that is unnatural to this swing. It cleaves into the flesh past where you can see Shay's handprint.
Try to nick the
Sure, you
Joker?
go right into where Shay's handprint is, right in the side, and you cleave straight through, pulling away part of the flesh of the mouth. Teeth
wanna bring the lady
explode outwards, and you can see the whole face sloughing off to the side. It still gives out this still up, although it is hurt. That is your turn?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Morwen, what do you want to do?
Sneak attack him.
Yeah, I'll feline agility too.
Oh yeah, because you ducked and covered, so you didn't move. Yeah.
I like to imagine that as you're running and then you enter
You have advantage.
Gunter's
on your attack.
aura
Yeah.
area. That as you're running you just spark and then you it charges you as you're running mid stride.
Oh really?
You're
I
like,
picture
"Ducks."
something. Whenever I use feline agility, I picture more of
Well, no, not feeling agility. This is
entering
entering his
his
aura.
radius.
Gunter's aura.
The deep
So
aura.
as
I was
you-
gonna say because before that, it's definitely
Gunther
like
is
Chucky
radiant.
feet. That's
Oh
like
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
You do the Looney Tunes
And that
wheel and
continues.
then
It just is.
Go ahead and roll
sparkly.
your attack at advantage, so it is a sneak attack.
Sneak attack.
Huh.
Added.
All right, so that
Both of
is
them
going to be a 25.
That hits. Roll damage. With your sneak attack damage.
Okay.
And
I think this
plus
is it.
D4 of radiant damage.
and then,
Is this my 8?
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
It's like a double pyramid.
Right, so that's a 10, and then I always kind of forget what I have.
Well, don't add the modifier. Oh no, it's not a crit. Never mind.
Plus the D4.
Morwen's about to roll 6d6, and
Plus
you're
or minus your D6.
It's
for
important.
sneak attack.
A little bit.
Wait,
yeah.
hold on.
Yeah,
12.
those 2 points of radiant damage are gonna come in real
15,
handy.
Well, he's undead, so he
20,
takes double damage from radiant anyway.
23,
It's true. Double damage for radiant damage. For
27.
27. Tell us how it happens.
Yay.
Yeah.
I poke him in one of the little sickly looking eyes, and it just goes like a deflated balloon.
You watch as Gunter
There's
strikes
a pocket
through.
of necrotic
I just
gas
want to,
buildup.
I want to really
Gunter swings with the axe and cleaves this thing almost in half. Teeth
Fucking
explode
loser.
outwards. This
Any Zelda
explosion
boss.
of radiant energy as teeth ricochet like shrapnel.
And I
And
go,
then Morwen, you hear this kind of as Morwen rushes along, and with Puss, you spear one of the smaller eyes, which kind of lets out this small burst before it, lets out this high-pitched squeak. And kind of flutters up erect before it just kind of drops down. The whole beholder just follows, sinking after that small eye, and it slumps to the ground dead.
I was kind of hoping that each
As
eye
it dies.
would
As it dies, you do
Shittiest
hear
organ
that,
ever.
that high-pitched squeak just go for another 3 seconds. And then finally you hear as the last eye falls. The beholder is dead, and you guys are out of
I take an eyeball.
Okay,
Ew.
you can cut out an eyeball if you would really like.
Going-
Just
I
one
do, and I
second
put it in
to-
Frank.
You should turn that into a really fucked up lich staff later.
I like the idea that Morwen, the only person amongst you, half of your group, I guess now, that doesn't cast magic is going to become the lich.
yeah, I know.
Wait, what?
I don't
Yeah,
guess.
you're-
Well, I guess
you're
I
a
kind
lich
of
now.
do.
Why?
Well,
What is that?
No, never mind.
depends on your perspective.
What am
on
I?
What magic is, So,
So,
you guys
Wait, where's
find
Frank's
yourself
skull?
sort of allowing the adrenaline
Personal
to wear
issues.
off. It is quiet within these chambers. There is the crackle of a torch. This beholder zombie is still somewhat on fire.
Thousand-eyed beast, my ass.
So what was
Yeah, I
that
only
creature?
counted like 8.
That was a beholder zombie.
I'm going to pick up my torch.
Okay, you pick up your torch. The warm light sort of envelops you again, and you feel a little bit of comfort in it. Morwen, there is a moment where you do look at Heinrich holding the shield and a dagger, and you remember for a moment one of your crewmates from your past that also fought in a very similar way. But you guys are in this cave. It is quiet.
Wait, what?
Weird. I'm gonna use the decanter of endless water to just like kind of point it at the fire on this beholder because it smells horrible, and it's also like you don't want to leave much of a whatever just in case there's more things. And I say stream.
And there is this
It's just like
burst of
gallon of water
yeah.
that just
it's like a fire. It's like a not a fire hose, but like a
right,
garden
the garden
hose.
hose. Yeah,
I'm
I'm just kind of like
rinse my hands off. of it.
oh yeah, here you have some
I'm
too.
going to while he's doing that, I'm gonna get on all fours and do like the back leg kicking to throw dirt on it.
Okay.
Like you just took a shit.
The dirt catches into the stream and it becomes mud as it spreads across.
That's actually
the
perfect.
beholder.
Yeah, you put
This
sand
one,
on
my
fire.
boy! We've done it!
Oh yeah,
Come on down!
Come on
The rope,
down.
you do hear the voice.
How's that rope tying?
I got it done a little while ago. It's not hard. I
Oh,
can
come
tie a
on
rope.
down! The thousand-eyed beast was a wimp!
Huh. All right. And just kind of slowly descends.
He's the
Although
real
he-
test of weight too, which is kind of why I let
from
him
the
do
bottom.
it.
He doesn't actually bring the rope down. He leaves it up top. But
What?
he does.
No.
You didn't tell him to bring it down.
Well,
he just
dude,
tied the
no,
rope.
come on. The whole point was
He's not-
I see him climbing. I'm like, whoa, 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 throw the rope down.
What rope?
The one that you tied off.
Oh,
Oh,
We,
he climbs
it's
back
so
up
we
to the
so we
top.
can leave when we're done here.
Grabs the rope. You see the rope kind of and swing.
Okay.
And then he lets himself down and then drops, not using the rope.
Yeah, I mean whatever.
He's
That's
tall
his,
enough where
that's
it's
his
actually
prerogative.
it's not hard.
Yeah.
He lands, kind of stumbles a little bit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm gonna pull on the rope and just like try climbing it a bit just to make sure.
Yeah, you get
just
up,
to
no
test.
problem. It seems like it's
Just like
fairly,
do a little-
fairly sturdy.
okay.
You do see it loops in, so he looped it around and then draped it back over and inside. So
Cool.
it is fairly secure, and there would be 2 points that would hold the weight.
Good.
Good job, everyone! Starting to look like a real squad.
I'm gonna go back over to the beholder
Okay.
and I'm gonna grab an eyeball, another one.
Gross.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, think fast.
He does not think. He does not think fast.
This dry,
I still
leathery
have-
stalk strikes you and kind of
Still have
lands.
disadvantage on perception.
Just strikes you right in the chest.
Yeah.
The stalk
funny.
itself is about this long.
Uh-huh.
It has this sort of deadened eyeball on the inside, so long ago blind that it's almost calcified over.
Ah, I'm gonna like smush it.
Okay.
So I take another one and I go.
Okay. Yeah, you
Throw it at
smash
you.
it down. It doesn't
That's me.
explode. It kind of
Yeah.
it's
Just shield.
it's like smashing a really dry apple. It just kind of crumbles in on itself a little bit.
Ill. All right. I put the
For your other
Grouse.
beholder eye, if you would like to add a beholder eye to your inventory, you
Oh, I
can.
did. I
I'm
put
just
him in
gonna.
right the
I'm gonna
skull.
like.
Fair.
I'm gonna shoulder the shield and then pull out the 2 daggers.
Okay.
Are there
You have the
any?
two daggers
Is there
there.
like a fang I could grab as like a trophy?
Make a medicine check as you peer into it. There are,
Like I want a trophy from this thing. That's a medicine check.
Mhm.
It's an 18.
yeah, no problem. You look around. There are like broken teeth all around the floor, but you go into the actual beholder itself, and surprisingly loose in the mouth. You just rip it right out.
Ew.
Not
The
now.
entire root comes with it.
Ew.
But yeah, it's about this long.
I wanna-
And it comes out and it's definitely meant for eating meat. You can see it's serrated along the outside, even the front teeth, designed to grab and tear.
I want to just check out some of the zombies and see if there's any like. Well, what I see.
Make an investigation check. Are you looking for anything in particular?
So, well, obviously, first off the bat, any sort of like useful tools or whatever, but then really just like who were these people in life and
Okay.
how did they come to be here?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
make an
imagine
investigation.
Mainly because if I find out they're
Fur
furbolgs, I'm going to be like, this is sad, and I'm not going to tell anyone.
They're probably the furballs. I had already assumed.
What was it?
that.
Intelligence?
Yeah.
That is
I feel like we
a
would have noticed that they were like really tall.
13.
Yeah.
They're not furbolgs. They are humanoid, although most of them old enough. You would
Hard to
imagine
tell.
human, half-elf-ish. There are some that seem to have more elongated features.
Mm-hmm.
But no furbolgs. Going through, there are like scraps of clothing. I would say, what'd you roll?
Well, an 11 for just intelligence,
Okay.
and with investigation if I'm like looting. That would be at 16.
16. You find two pieces of gold, tarnished. Looks as if at some point they had some kind of biological material on them, which has since kind of decayed away. You find a piece of silver, 13 pieces of copper. There's a gold bracelet, although it's fairly bent. That's it.
I'll take the gold bracelet too, I guess.
Sure.
I'm just kind of like, well,
You imagine it's valued at about like 5 or 6 gold pieces. It's not terribly ornate, and it is damaged, but
yeah.
you can add that to your inventory.
Okay.
Go over to Thistle and be like, all right, now how do we finish this so we can go home?
Well, we got to find, it's like a crystalline altar, they called it, and just got to find it.
There's a
I'm gonna
path
look-
that leads off over here.
I'm gonna
Sounds
look
pretty
in that
good to me.
direction. Be like, all right, let's go.
Sure.
Start heading that way.
So as you approach, there does appear to be the elements of a tunnel or the beginnings of a tunnel. However, at some point, you can see there is like blackened marks, probably the disintegration ray had carved at one point. Rubble has fallen down and sealed this tunnel. You do see beyond it.
Got dynamite for that.
Yeah, you do see beyond it. There are. Give me just 1 second here. Let me find this. Beyond it, you can see that there are like elements of light, and there are gaps between the rocks. So it's not like a terrible cave in or anything. It's just sort of a fallen obstacle.
Okay.
What do you guys want to do?
Like, oh, way's blocked. We gotta.
I'm gonna check on Tank.
Walking over to Tank, you notice for the first time now, not rushing so much, the floor is slightly tacky. And looking down, there is, a fairly thick sort of layer, almost spongy in elements or on parts of the floor that are just like organic matter, blood, bits of flesh, just kind of left over in clumps. It doesn't cover the entire floor, but you do notice your boots are sticky.
Gross.
You walk up to Tank. Sure.
How you doing, buddy?
Kind of turns a little adrenaline rush still. Doing all right. That was more than I had bargained for this early on.
Well,
Not pirates like I sort of anticipated.
well, I picked this for you, and I present another eye,
Sort of recoils slightly.
and I kind of flop it around.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why don't you hold on to that? I
just imagine like
I put the eye draped behind my ear.
it kind of leans over, and you can feel this pressure against your head. All right. He just turns away from you and
I'm
approaches
always
the
watching.
group.
No, I don't say that.
Okay.
I just.
I guess I would walk. I think I would walk up to him and just. I'm like, you got hit pretty bad. You feeling okay there? I saw
looks
that. I saw
down.
that ray. It looked
There
like
are.
it
I mean,
hurt.
his armor is slightly blackened on the front, but you can see he does take his thumb. There is it's gauntleted, so not gloves. So he does have use of his hands underneath. Kind of smudges an element of it away. Doesn't necessarily go away. It's like deeply charred in there. And it looks like the armor took most of it. I'll be fine.
All right, if you say
Be
so.
Like, oh, let me take a look at that. Mend it.
There's this kind of as like elements of the blackened part falls off. The metal ever so slightly kind of stitches together. You get the sense that this is probably takes more than mend. This is like magically damaged armor.
That was
so-
worth a shot.
Yeah. Looks down at
It
it.
was.
Thank you, I guess.
Anytime. Actually, just that one time.
Anytime, 5 times per day.
All right, let's get the
Shay-
show on the road.
Shay, do you want to take points since you always
Well-
see everything before everyone else?
My vision's hampered because it's dark.
You
Yeah, but don't you have the torch?
I do, but it's limited to the range of the torch.
All
All right, well,
All right, Morwen,
All right, I'll scout ahead.
you can disappear in front of our eyes. I think that's probably the
What
best.
do you mean? I go smack.
Path
Okay.
is also blocked. So there's
16.
that.
Okay. You go, what do you mean? And you hear,
Sorry,
as
so
you watch Morwen like
this is
run
the
a little
only
bit
passage
away
out?
into the darkness. You
The eye
haven't really looked
drops.
around too heavily into the actual
Okay,
cave,
well-
but from what you can see.
The one that's rubbled, is there a way to see through it? Is it like
Yeah, there are
front
gaps
of
in
it?
it.
Can I look to
Oh.
see what's on the other
Make a
side?
perception check.
I'm gonna use locate object to try and find this crystal. Is it a reliquary or like a?
Are you asking Thistle or are you asking me?
I'm asking you
Yeah.
what it
Where is this during
would
combat?
actually be
Fuck.
because he just
All I
called
get
it
rolls
like
are
a crystal,
passive stuff.
like
Reliquary.
pedestal, right?
As far as Gunter knows, it is a crystal pedestal.
Yeah.
You don't really know
You
a
can't
lot
really
more
locate
information other
something you're
than
not
that.
familiar with, right?
Yeah, I can.
You can.
It's,
Oh, it's
Yeah, I can.
I wasn't supposed
I
to
would-
do
Don't
that.
tell me what I can do.
I can.
I would argue, based on the language of the spell, because you have no idea what this actually is, it would be very hard to cast Locate Object on it. You could try.
Okay.
I got a. What was my thing? Perception.
Yeah.
17.
Okay.
Where was this during fucking combat?
You climb down and sort
Because I
of
saved pretty long.
find an area
Yeah,
where
this
when you get down at an angle, you can look up and over.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna
Makes
use
so
it to just
uncomfortable.
find crystal pedestal, and it's the nearest object of a particular kind. So I guess
What's the range on that?
pedestal, 1,000 feet.
1,000 feet. Pedestal?
The nearest pedestal.
Native
within
crystal.
1,000 feet of me.
There is, well,
Focus on crystal.
roughly
Yeah, I guess the nearest crystal, but we're underground.
nearest
so I think
crystal.
Crystal
What are you using?
Pedestal made of crystal.
Don't listen to them. This is Gunter casting it. So what are you doing?
I'm gonna be like, where's the nearest crystal?
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a couple points of light that suddenly flare up, but nearest crystal, within
I
Heinrich's
think I
bag.
said, where's the nearest crystal pedestal? But crystal's the
Thing,
first
yeah.
word, so it's
There is this kind of poof, and you see this dimly glowing rectangular object. Weirdly, like it seems to shift every now and then. And it's never in the same spot within the
I
bag.
imagine it also looks really far away for some reason too.
It does. It's a faint glow, but it looks like a brick.
I mean, you know, I have the fucking thing from the
Yeah.
Cord Temple.
a likely story.
I don't know what you're doing, so I'm still looking through the.
Yeah. So
you,
as-
you
as
see it
you-
as I'm looking through this pile of rubble.
As you peer through, you can see that there is like a hallway, also carved out of stone. This does seem to have elements that have been shaped to make them appear almost like brick.
Mm-hmm.
The light changes and the air is a little bit drier coming through.
Mm-hmm.
It looks almost as if it's snowing in this hallway, although it doesn't accumulate on the ground. And you
just
don't
dust.
necessarily see movement. It almost seems like it's suspended. But it's
Like-
hard to
Like
really...
it's like if it were snowing, but then paused.
Almost, yeah.
Okay.
There's like a shimmering to the air.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to make it out. Again, it's through this wall, and then there's an
Yeah,
additional
yeah,
10 feet
okay.
before the light takes.
While
But
like still looking, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Thistle, do you know which way it is from here?"
no. I know you come down here, and then we're supposed to look for pedestal made out of crystal. The crystal altar.
No other, yeah, no other like points along the way. No other guiding descriptors.
Well, eventually I know we're supposed to find some kind of chamber of life or something like that.
Is
and
it
that means
before
we're
or
on the
after?
right path. It's before, but it's been a long time since people have used this particular entrance. Usually we go in through the vault.
Yeah, Chamber of Life. You said.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I kind of like to anyone else who's close by. Everyone, someone else, come take a look at this. I'm not sure what to make of it. I think this. Do I get like a foreboding or a positive sense from this like suspended shit? Can I like?
I would say, given the space that you're in, everything feels fairly foreboding.
Sure. Okay. So like hallway of life or whatever he just said.
You said the chamber of life. This doesn't seem like a chamber. It seems like a hallway. You can't see all the way down,
Okay.
but it seems like a hallway.
Well, there's a hallway with some weird magic dust floating in it that seems kind of weird. Probably trapped. Just
Heinrich,
thinking.
you said weird twice.
Well, you know, it's weird.
That's weird.
It's really weird.
I'm gonna-
Yeah, it's so weird. I had to say it twice.
Does this magic dust look like the pollen, or is it something different?
Are you gonna look?
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
Can I aid him since I've already seen it? Be like, yeah, it's like
Sure.
right there. You
Yeah,
kind of like
roll at advantage.
try to like give him that.
That's a 15.
15. You peer in and you see very similarly there are elements of like sparkling things in the air. As Shay like moves the torch around, it kind of catches and seems to reflect crystalline, maybe snow, but it isn't moving.
Worth pulling this wall down, maybe? How long would it take to pull down or to excavate this?
Depends on how you want to do it.
Well, I'm trying to get all the big guys and all the other tools, not explosively.
Okay, so you guys want to just try to pull elements of the wall away?
I'm just trying to get a sense of how long it would take. Sort of like Tank and Thistle. You guys are big beef. Do you think you can move this? Move some of these rocks? We can all help, obviously.
I don't really know about being called big beef, but yeah, we can move this.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't take too long, because we are on a time schedule here.
Yeah, just
maybe we
help
can
out.
clear this. Yeah, totally, of course.
Kind of
I wouldn't not.
sheathes the sword and begins to work towards it.
Okay.
I would say with everybody helping,
If everyone
takes
wants
about
to.
yeah.
Oh, I'm busy hiding.
Okay.
Thanks.
With everybody but Morwen helping, takes about 11 minutes.
Okay.
You
Very
guys
precise time.
begin to pull. Well, would have taken 10.
Oh,
guys-
thanks.
not
You
a ton of
made it
strength
an
for
odd
Morwen.
number. That is your fucking fault.
Now I can't find the thing in your bag.
You guys begin
know
to
what it
grab.
is.
I mean, you could try to sleight a hand him while he's clearing this away.
I mean,
if
I
you
know
want.
it's not the pedestal. Even
You
Gunter-
know what it is.
Yeah.
I've shown it to
Even
everyone.
Gunter would know that it's not the crystal pedestal. He's not gonna
Even
be like,
Gunter
"You
knows.
took it in. You put it in your bag.
I did. I
Where
put
are
all my
we?
shit in my
You
bag.
had it in your bag the whole time.
Nah, not that. He's being weird.
We're still looking. Don't you
Wait,
worry.
what are we
I
doing?
think
We're
Heinrich's
opening a
just being
door?
We're
We're
clearing the
clearing
rubble from
the
the
rubble.
passage that leads
Exactly
out.
right.
Okay, and where is
You,
that?
I'd be like, Marwin, wherever you are, maybe look for another exit while we're doing this. I shout out loud.
I do so.
Okay, make
But
it.
because I want to, not because he
Only
told
do
me
it
to.
because you want to, not because I'm saying it.
You address the dark.
I don't do it. I don't do it.
Fair
No, I'm just kidding.
And
I
if
will, I
you
will, I
don't
will.
do
I will,
it,
I will, I
then
will.
you
I'm gonna
can't
use
undisre
command.
anti
Do
not
it!
ever again, never forever. Just
Make
kidding.
a
I'm not actually.
Okay, I was gonna say.
You're gonna command her?
Make an investigation check. And you're looking specifically for like other ways out of this place.
I'm sorry.
You're looking specifically for other ways out of this place.
I guess
Because
like
of
a
disadvantage,
another.
obviously.
I guess another passage, or if I also see any like tracks or whatever, like a beaten path, if you will.
Make an investigation check.
Zombie tracks.
Zombies.
Yoinks.
14.
14. You go around the walls and you kind of put your paws up against it. It feels like wall. You go around these raised columns and it just feels like stone. You don't get the sense that there is another exit aside from the one that you came down, and then the one that as you finish and you kind of make your loop around, you see Tank and Thistle moving big parts of stone away. There is this sort of
And
opening
everyone
that's
else moving
emerging.
smaller parts of
And
stone away.
Gunter's standing
Is
in the
it
back
like-
saying, "Put your back into it."
Is the
Stone
opening
cutting.
like? From
Yeah,
the
so
top?
as they're moving them away, there is like a growing gap that is
Staring
being
very
created.
intently at
You could
I
probably fit in.
gonna.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to scurry up and squirm through that.
Would I see that happening?
What is your passive perception?
11.
11. You do not. What is
Yeah.
your passive perception?
17.
You do not either. You
Ugh,
you
'cause
you
you're still
get you
at
do
18.
you do hear. Yeah, I
You're
was
gonna
18.
get yourself killed because we can't save
You do sort of. There's a moment where you do hear something and you kind of turn and you can swear you see like the edge of a tail disappear.
At least
But
there
you,
she's there.
yeah, you would assume that Mormon's are round. However, you don't see where she goes.
I'm such
Mormon,
a little
you
stinker.
just kind of
Yeah.
wait, and there's a
Keep
moment where
going.
Gunter shouts out, "Put your back into it!" and Tank just kind of turns around annoyed, and you just slip right by him.
I feel like that would have been guidance, though, right? No, it's actually just being a dick.
You emerge on the other
I would
side.
have to actually touch him.
There are.
to
You're not
guide
in the
him.
hallway itself yet. You're still in like the rest of this kind of chamber as it leads into the hallway.
Why would you do that?
Make a perception check now that you're on the other side.
Put your back into it.
You can see there's a faint glow coming from along the ceiling, sort of a
Alright.
magic
I'm
light.
gonna roll both since I have
Alright,
disadvantage.
exercise
Sure.
those glutes.
Don't handle
Oh, neither are bad though,
Good.
so that's pretty dope.
Sure.
Perception, so 21 for my worst
Yeah.
one.
So you squeeze through this narrow, kind of
Yeah.
2-foot tall
That's
opening
awful.
that Tank and Thistle, for the most
Yes,
part,
you
have
should.
created, and into this sort of collapsed hall. And as Shay kind of getting close again and the torch moving, the light shifts, and this time you notice it's not snow. There are dozens, if not hundreds, of shards of glass that are suspended in the air. They're not moving. You don't hear anything. And as you kind of shift, you can see your reflection like 100 times, 1,000 times, just kind of shift in front of it. The hallway itself seems to extend down about 30 feet and then branches to the right. It also continues straight. There is a door ahead of you, worn, There are ornate brass fittings around it. To the right, you can just make out that there's no glass suspended in that hallway that branches off, but you can't see any door. You need to go further into the hall.
I strike a few poses in front of the.
Okay. It is at this point that you do see now, beyond, as you kind of take a rock away, Morrowind is now posing in front of a hallway.
What are you doing?
Put some
pretty.
back into it.
Don't. Okay.
And then I.
You're this. You're a tiger.
I think I actually would laugh at that. I think I would actually take a moment to enjoy the hilarity of
Chuckle
this.
a little bit.
Yeah. All right.
This
What is
stops
this?
what
What
he's
is
doing
this
and she
snow
says,
stuff?
I think
and-
that might be kind
It's
of
glass.
It's glass.
I don't really know.
That's a cusp of naive.
I'm not really getting
Quarter
this
to
word. I
naive.
thought I understood it, but
That's okay. You'll get there. You'll
Alright.
get there. Pat him
So
on
I
the
guess I
back.
would come up close.
guidance.
She just said glass, and I think I would take the shield and just kind of like brush it away, like my microphone.
Yeah. As you brush the shield in, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
But I wasn't trying to hurt myself.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you're
Yeah,
moving
it's
away
so
shards
cautious.
of glass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
with
no,
my
no.
shield.
I know.
The trap.
Yeah, I wouldn't have touched
Oh,
it.
that's terrible. Well, that's a dexterity save.
Yep.
6.
6? Okay. So as you go and you kind of brush it in, the second that the shield enters this hallway, like between where the bricks are, some of the glass that's in the area just and just kind of cuts
slides it.
across.
Okay.
You pull the shield back and the glass just stops in
Okay.
there. But you do look at this, and this glass has
Is there any like
rents.
stuck on it or no?
It has made these rents through the metal itself.
Uh-huh.
Certainly not normal glass.
Sure.
But you get the sense that as you
None of
progress
it's
through
stuck
it,
onto the.
no, and you get the sense that as you progress through, you'll probably just take damage unless you find some way to either remove the glass or do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is this kind of ever-present cloud of shards.
Kind of like look.
Extends
around.
about 20 feet in, and you can see very much at the end.
Yeah.
There's about 5 feet where there is none.
Yeah, at the end of the hallway.
So
What can you tell about this
It
stuff?
fucking
So they're
hurts. Well, it
suspended?
doesn't, but it will.
the glass is like suspended, like shards are suspended.
They're
I don't
just
see
floating.
anything holding them. They seem to just be.
They attack anything that
I think
enters
I'm
into the
gonna-
Do
hallway.
Alright, I'm gonna take a look at this because I'm.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
sneaking.
I feel like I would also look around a bit. Can anyone like
Well, I'm.
cause wind?
You casting it? Okay.
Yeah, on the magical effect of.
And how do you
It's a
what is the way that you make that happen?
And be like, maybe we can just blow it away.
And as Gunter
As you
goes,
go-
as Gunter goes, you see this burst of like yellow magical particles that erupt out and swirl around. And as they touch the glass, you begin to hear ting, 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 just rain of glass as it all just falls to the ground. You dispel the effect, yeah.
Congratulations, we won.
Hey.
Congratulations.
The floor
we
is
won.
now littered with broken pieces of glass, but it is no longer.
It's alright. I pull out my
magically
broom.
We all just start sweeping.
just kind of scraping pieces into a pile.
I mean, we're all wearing fucking shoes, right?
Yeah, you
Was
guys are
Thistle wearing shoes?
He's wearing like clogs, but yeah,
Ah,
they're
okay.
Good enough.
they're lifted like this much off the ground. They're fine.
No.
So the glass
Shenanigans.
litters the ground, but it doesn't appear to be an obstacle necessarily.
Okay, I'll put my shield arm back in just to see if it'll like reactivate or some shit.
Kind of put it in. Nothing seems to happen.
Okay. I kind of like turn to everyone and be like, well, good. Like, Gunter.
Guidance.
Yeah. Guidance,
As you
Gunter.
pop,
No, but
there's just
Gunter.
kind of ting of light.
You good? You guidance me?
Yeah, he did.
That wasn't more.
He's done it before.
I feel like that's really uncomfortable.
Oh,
There's something about that seems very off-putting, and I don't know what it
Actually,
is
that
exactly.
was pretty good.
pretty good. pretty good.
All right,
Well,
let's
you
go.
wanna- you wanna
And he
lead?
begins to walk. That tank is beginning to walk down.
Alright, don't
Walks
trip
down
over yourself.
to where the hallway branches out.
Yeah.
Guys, there is another doorway over here.
You mean aside from the one at the front? I mean, I guess I'm catching up to him as I say that.
Yeah,
And
and
I
you look down to the right, and there is another doorway. As it branches to the right, you can see that there is a little difficult to make out because it is 15 feet further back. It is an iron door.
Any markings anywhere denoting
Make
any
an
sort of
investigation
religious
check.
symbology or, you know. What
Well-
looks,
I'm
what looks the
gonna
most
look to
obvious
see if
leading
there's
towards...
people.
Make an investigation check.
Yeah.
What?
I want to look to see if
Yo,
there's a
fucking
peephole.
20 crit. So that's
Or like a
20
crack.
total. Total 24.
So as you approach the door,
Mm-hmm.
and you get the sense that Mormon is following you,
Sure.
there
What
are
else is
3
fucking
pieces
new?
of iron that have been kind of banded together with
Mm-hmm.
other bands of iron and kind of sealed into a door.
Mm-hmm.
The edges of these plates of iron are horrifically corroded,
Mm-hmm.
to the point where like the rust seems to almost be spreading out.
Mm-hmm.
The door itself is probably very brittle because of this. You can see where there was a handle; it's just a solid pane of rust.
Yeah.
Something within this room definitely seems corrosive, or in other ways negatively affecting the metal of this
Right.
door.
Given that everything else in this whole place has been pretty dry.
Correct.
You
You don't feel humidity necessarily, but you do,
Yeah.
and you do hear behind this door with a 24.
Yeah.
Give me one sec here. You do hear this sort of slow liquid sound. Not water. It's too slow for that, too viscous, but you do hear this kind of
oozy.
almost like a folding ooze that seems to just be dropping and then kind of moving out. And then you hear, pops of bubbles, something very caustic.
I'm gonna be like, this door is not a good door. Let's check out the other door.
Tank kind of comes up. You also approaching now with your.
I feel like I would
perception
relay
check
all
of
of this
5.
to everyone. Relaying this to everyone loudly enough that everyone would be like,
You know,
yeah,
my
this
investigation.
door's a bad
is
idea.
Okay, yeah.
I'm making my
You
way through
see
the
a door,
halls.
and it's pretty rusted.
I want to check out the other door.
Okay,
I'm
so
looking
as a
for
group,
cracks and peepholes.
sure. As a group, you guys go to the other door.
Yeah.
This other door is wood, very old wood. It also appears to have like very ornate brass fittings around the outside. The hinges themselves are thick, heavy pieces of brass. The door does not have a knob; it has like a pull handle, and there is a keyhole that appears locked. You cannot see any light through it, and so you being a rogue, you would imagine it's locked.
Could I discern the craftsmanship of this door?
Make-
And try to find out, like...
It is not stone, but make a
if
history check.
it's- Yeah, if it's, like, elven or...
Sure, yeah, make a
dwarvish,
history check.
etc. That's,
Bad.
14?
14. So, being a dwarf, you have been around all kinds of crafts, and being ancient, you've been around a lot of things. However, you've never really seen a design like this. There are elements of the hinge design, this ornate kind of bronze or brass, maybe. It's so smooth that at this age, it's really hard to imagine. The craftsmanship is really well done. It's not elven.
Age.
Hard to tell. You don't recognize this.
Interesting.
Craftsmanship.
But you get the sense that this door is older than you.
This is an old door.
I want to go make friends with it. Can you,
This do you know which door to go through?
can you get it open, maybe?
No.
Can I
Let me
check
give it
this
a
one?
shot.
Yeah. You go up to it,
Yeah.
you grab
I feel
the.
like anyone want to help me check for traps?
I got you, buddy. Guidance.
Okay.
I'm gonna say you check for traps,
Actually,
and then
I'm
I'll
just
open
gonna
the
say-
door.
I'm just going to use find
I'll
traps
unlock
at this
it.
point, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Find traps.
Well, I'll still roll because I got a D4. And actually, I'm going to hold on to that D4.
Yeah, hold on to that. door.
So any trap within 120 feet of me, and if it is within a line of sight.
Okay, so just basically the door.
Yeah, so
If it is.
basically
Or the
is
other door, too.
Yeah, are either of the doors trapped?
Absolutely. So, looking with this spell, you do not notice any kind of trap within these doors. You do see, looking forward, almost through this door that is wood and brass, there are elements. This entire room gives off a faint glow beyond. And I will say, given that you're using the spell, what level spell is this one?
2.
2? Okay. I'll say you do notice from this glow that the room beyond is like L-shaped. I would say you also notice... Do you get the School of Magic as
You
well?
get the general sense of the traps present. I can basically sense
oh,
if
this
there's
is-
going to be harm if I proceed through that door.
Yes.
Yeah, handling that spell is so fucking
For
hard.
sure.
Yeah, it's
I
a
hate
tricky
it.
spell.
What I will
It's
say
like-
is you get the
like,
sense
you
that
don't
something
wanna just be
beyond...
like, traps there, and there.
There is certainly a magical trap. It seems to emanate throughout the whole room, so you have a hard time discerning what it would be. Some kind of an area effect, perhaps, or something that's been cast on the entire room. The other door, not necessarily a trap. Yeah, you don't sense any traps beyond the other door. The door itself is not trapped.
Is there anything else in this hallway? It's a door, and then to the right and down a bit, another door.
It's like
To the left of the door would have been nothing.
To
It
the
was
left
just
of
like
the door, it's
just like a wall.
so it's a straight hallway, and there's a
Yeah.
branch to the right.
Okay, so now.
Down that branch to the right, there's a door, and
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a door straight ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the wooden door's in front of us.
Correct.
Straight.
Trap.
Correct.
There's a trap. There's a trap in
And the
there.
other one with all that rust and stuff and the sound gives me a really bad feeling.
No trap.
Tank kind of
Yeah.
looks over to you.
I feel like
I'm actually personally against the rust as well. Just
Yeah, I mean,
given
look at
my,
you. Yeah, that's kind of that's your bread and butter. On
I'm
your
also
beef.
it's not doing super great, and I just cleaned this. And he's the whole time since you've noticed he has been like
Like
really
polishing.
trying to like scrape this grime off.
Yeah.
You guys have noticed over this time, Tank is like very particular about his equipment.
Yeah, he's OCD.
Yeah, not quite, but
Okay.
he's very
He's
very
highly
particular about
organized.
it. Yes.
He's a meticulous individual, despite
Wow.
the lack of surgical nature.
I
of
mean,
the
I
great
can
sword.
probably open this door if you guys want to go through the trap door.
I mean, are we better at that, or are we better at fighting something or dealing with something that's gonna like corrode literally everything we're carrying?
Dwarf,
Let's take
you
a
This
vote.
door looks
used
really
a,
nice. The other
Used
one
a
does not
spell
look.
to find out about a trap on the other side.
I use loads of spells all the time. They just got sort of happen.
Great. Didn't ask anything about that. Is
Okay,
there
well,
like
didn't
a
care.
certain kind of trap that you're seeing over there?
It's like everywhere in there. There's probably something in the air. Maybe like the glass.
Can you just open it and we can step back?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just stand a little bit down the hallway towards the rest door.
yeah.
With the shield out, just like in case it's like curves around.
All right.
Definitely like.
Gandra, get behind me. This'll
Get
get behind me.
me.
This'll kind of smiles. All right.
I've still got
Can we
One is
tell if this door swings towards us?
Hinges
This
on our
one's out.
side. Oh,
So
okay.
it would swing away from you.
Okay.
All right.
All right. You want to try to pick the lock?
Yeah.
Make a thieves' tool check.
Where is my thieves' tools? Okay. For a 25.
Yeah.
Fucking go.
You bend down and looking at it, it's not an easy lock. This is a 5 tumbler lock. You can see there are bits so that when you go in and you kind of insert your tools, you need to twist them in a certain way. This lock is actually cylindrical, and at first where it looks like you might just need to pick and kind of the tumblers, you have to slide each tumbler up into the side. It's a very hard lock. You've actually not encountered this kind of design, and so it takes a little bit. But without too much trouble, you do eventually hear this, and the door seems to kind of push back in its frame a little bit. You imagine that it's open.
resistance on myself.
Okay, you cast resistance on yourself again.
I still got the D4 for your guidance for what, a minute? 10 minutes? 1 minute?
I think it's 1 minute.
For 1 minute.
It's a cantrip.
Yeah.
So, yeah, up to 1 minute.
Peeking in. Make a perception check.
You again, though. You get it back.
But it's
Yes.
concentration. So
Well, passive 14.
I think it goes
Okay.
along with the other one.
The door opens, and as it swings, there's a moment where it swings freely, and then it kind of
See you in the
slows.
Oh,
Where?
I'm doing this very slowly.
Okay, so
like
it-
I'm holding on to the.
Sure. It pushes open evenly, but then there's a moment where it almost seems to resist. You don't hear any kind of squeak from the hinge or anything, but it does seem to slow a little bit. But as it swings open, you can see the room is L-shaped, and it immediately calls to mind the feelings of a study. You see an elf, comfortable but finely made clothing, perhaps he's getting ready for bed, seems like maybe like a silken kind of garment, a glossy green. Barely visible silver filigree around the cuffs that you would recognize as elvish design.
Alive?
I guess.
He's turning away from a window, and there's glass shattering outwards. You can see that there is. Well, let me just get.
Room.
Freshman.
Clear.
I love the smell of fresh map.
Pretty small.
It's pretty weird.
Has it been? It's been more than 10 minutes by now. So
At this point, yes.
all of my effects have worn.
How long has it been in general? What time is
What,
it?
like
We
a
started
half
this at
hour?
4.
An hour?
So
Make
4 o'clock.
an intelligence check.
The fight was a few rounds, and then clearing the rubble was
You just
about
don't have
11
any real
minutes.
way
So
to,
I'd say like
tell time
25 to
on it.
30.
Not that long.
I rolled a 17.
We've also
17.
been puzzling around
You get
with
the
this
sense that it's probably getting close to like, with a 17, maybe like 5 o'clock.
Alright, so we still got some time.
Yeah, you guys are not doing terribly. Give me just a moment. This is a very small map. I need a better way to organize this. I say it every week and I still haven't
You do.
figured it out.
You should
Talon
get,
just said that map filing system.
Mail
Yeah.
tubes. Get mail tubes.
The fucking
tubes.
CVS
Mail
back,
tubes.
kids.
Yeah. I think you can like
Hey, we do
get
it.
them for
We can
free
with
at
what we have.
post office.
We do alright.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Joe does all right. not us.
Here.
He's not here, but we'll just use him. Look at
Oh
him.
god.
Here, do you need a? Okay.
Okay, so Gunter. Or no, who's looking in here? It's
Morwen.
Morwen.
You will be
I-
right here. You're still in this hallway going behind you. Everybody else is kind of
Is that
imagine,
visible on the camera?
mostly crowded around. Should be. I can check in a second.
Yeah, it is. It's on the
I'll
edge.
give them a
Yes.
quick battle camera. Now you can see a little bit closer.
Might
maybe.
need to slide it down a little bit.
Slow it down just a tad, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh no, beholder.
Oh no! So
He did.
you
all
would
good.
see
He's missing eyes.
No, he
elf for you, so you can see your
Paperweight.
this elf. I do not have a
No paperweight for all time.
mini for elves. Are like surprisingly difficult to get good minis for, but we'll just use her for the moment. It seems to be a male elf. They look like they were seated here, and they're kind of in the process of turning away. Everything in this room, very much like the room previous, seems suspended. It is silent, and you do not see movement. What catches your eye next? There are
Is she
two
alive?
creatures within this room. Also,
No, you said it's suspended, so it looks like she's just.
Potentially, like
She's
trying to
like-
stop.
Frozen in
like
time.
as if she's about to turn. There are pieces of glass coming outwards from the window.
So
that the creatures are
the
shattering
trap is
inwards.
Probably the time is going to start up again, and then we're gonna get fucked by something.
Just how I
my
feel
thought.
when I drink coffee.
Just how I'm picturing this happening as we see a number of things.
A number of
I immediately don't like the fact that we're stopping time because if we're talking about titans waking up and stuff, what if it's
These
suspended
creatures,
in time too?
very
We're just,
thin
like,
and gaunt.
loosening locks
This
on him.
Yeah.
bluish, sort of rubbery looking skin. Where there should be a face, there is nothing. Just a blank sort of
Ew.
canvas.
On what?
I'm gonna draw on them.
And it appears to be like mid bursting through a window, although behind this window you see just rock. And you can actually see, with your perception score, there's another one kind of bursting through here. There are other shards of glass. Everything is silent. You can see in front of this elf, there is like tipping over off of, but suspended off of the table, what looks like a triangular lamp, very, very unusual looking, kind of draws up to a point, and there is a non-flickering, seems like a magical glow from within. There's bookcases, there's a wooden floor, there's a big navy carpet that takes up most of the room. However, at this moment, nothing seems to be moving.
Can I turn?
You hear this, as Tank like draws his sword ready.
I turn and look in.
And
I see all that.
Make a perception check.
Guidance.
I still have. Oh no, now I have it. Well, that was a 12.
How,
So passive 14?
No,
how well
that's
lit
not my
is the room?
passive. My passive is 11.
Oh.
I got a 14 actually.
Nice. Oh, good. Okay. So,
Oh, so
what-
my passive.
you see
Shut up.
mostly the same thing.
Yeah.
I would say, Heinrich, the first thing that really draws your attention, you do see that there's like some paper and maybe like books scattered on the table as well.
And everything's clearly frozen in place, and obviously I'm connecting the dots between that and then the glass flame the last bit. And no one's actually like entered the room. The door swung into the room though and kept moving.
Kept moving.
It kept
Slowed,
moving.
but kept moving.
Can I take a piece of gravel off the floor or take a piece of glass or something like that?
Yeah, there's plenty.
Yeah.
Take a little piece of glass
And then
off
just
the
like chuck it into the room. Okay, nothing.
kind of slides across the wood and ends up on the carpet.
Okay, and I see that lantern too with the same roll. It's the
Yeah, you see that lantern kind of like in the air, but not falling. There are
Okay.
pieces of glass suspended as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna just turn to everyone else and be like, all right, guys, don't touch anything, please.
I immediately feel a sense or an urge to touch.
Oh, I'm
Everything.
sure.
I'm sure you do,
Yeah, of
but like,
course.
But like, don't.
if the glass attacked us and it was suspended, I'm getting a similar feeling from this room. I feel like we just in and out, look for an exit.
I'm not saying I'm going to touch anything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But I am
because
focusing on you intently.
I'm not making eye contact.
All right.
But I feel your gaze.
Tank sort of
I'm
looks
gonna
around, sword still in
Yeah, yeah.
hand. What are we doing?
We're gonna go through, but we're not gonna touch anything. We're gonna look for another way through because that other door, bad door, this one might lead to another door because we can't see it from here. I'm assuming can't see anything besides what's straight ahead, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just go in first unless anyone else wants to. Like very, very, very
So
cautious.
Henry-
like,
After you, buddy.
Why don't I go?
Guidance.
Because I'm a little bit more like
because if there's
better.
danger, like I want to.
than you.
If there's danger, I want to like.
This is currently how you guys
Be
are
in the
situated
front way
in
of
the
it.
hallway.
Well, they're like, fine, go ahead. I'll get the shield out, dagger, and everything.
I think also, let me go in by myself first. Don't bring everybody into this.
Fine, I'll go with you just to protect if I can.
That's not what that's the opposite of what I said.
If Heinrich's going, I'm going to go as well.
That's not the plan.
Morwen's
then
a
tell
little
me the
more.
rest
You
your
see
plan.
hear from the very back of the group, hey guys, I want to go too.
Yeah, well, I don't want to go.
Let me just
Go scout. Do your scouting.
Morwen's a
Fine.
little more agile. Let her scope it out.
All right.
Well,
Just for
hurry
the
up,
sake of it,
getting
I'm gonna
bored.
be as snug as possible.
Sure, make a stealth check.
Yeah. Who knows? 18.
Yeah, you crouch down low. The other members of your party can see you because you're
Must
doing
have
it
been
right
the
in
wind.
front of them. But yeah, you crouch in the eye narrows. You feel fairly hidden.
All right. I'm gonna go on all fours.
Okay.
And I'm going to just like.
Slowly crouch through. Make a perception check as you're crawling through this room.
It's nice.
Oh, 20.
20.
Nice.
You see this piece of glass that Heinrich had thrown. It doesn't seem to be different in any way. Nothing has changed on it. You kind of tap it with one of your claws and it slides on the floor. It is not
Oh, I don't-
frozen. Oh, you don't do that? Okay.
No, I don't touch anything.
I would say that you get the sense that it is not frozen. You saw it scattered onto
You're
the
moving
ground.
through the room.
You're moving through the room. You're touching the wood. As you approach, and you kind of get around the corner, you do now clearly see there's a second one. They both appear to have been shattering the glass in at the same time, although you again see stone beyond this wall. There is a vase that is like flying off. There are flowers that are also suspended within the air. You can also see now there are bookshelves with various books and tomes kind of lined up on them. There's something very odd about this room.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Beyond just the fact that there are these demonic-looking
Guys, it's a
creatures,
weird
everything's
room.
suspended. The architecture is really weird. It is elvish in nature. Nothing like anything you've seen on Dominion. There's a weirdness to the quality of the fabrics. There is a strangeness to the way that the wood itself is hewn. Very refined, very nice. A different species of wood than something that you've seen. Kind of unclear as to what that is. What do you want to do?
Creep a little further.
Okay.
I want to get a good.
Forget to look for exits, I shout into the room.
You see the fur kind of...
Yeah.
If my tail could give you a middle finger, it would. It just goes.
Tail just straightens up.
All right. Do I see? I want to get a good look of everything. Like I mean, I want to get
You
every.
do see-
Want to see every nook and cranny.
Forward, there is a door with a knob. This door, give me 1 second, is... So this door seems to open, or seems as if it will open up into another hall. You can see like that kind of stonework underneath the actual door frame itself with a 20. That hall appears to be dark. You don't see light coming from within. You can see there are bits of...
Wait, I'm sorry. There's. What do you? It's.
Like it changes back to stone in the
Yeah,
hall.
so like
on the
you
other
can see
side
there
of the
are
door.
like
So
stone
there's
on
no-
the floor here,
the-
but there's probably a pathway here.
Were you saying light coming with what?
So
Sorry, I just misunderstood.
It's okay. There's light coming from within here from that lantern. It is
Oh,
fairly dim.
okay.
It seems dark on the other side of the
Okay,
door.
gotcha.
In all these windows that you can see, there are panes of glass still there, but you see just raw rock that looks like it was bisected, almost as if this room was just transported into. That's amazing.
That sounds
into
like why you don't like
this
paper.
space. I would say, getting around this way, you can also see there is a very, very large framed portrait, or a painting rather, that is right here that you would have passed. Turning around now and looking at the rest of the room, you can see this portrait.
There you go.
It is the woods in winter. There's a gleaming emerald spire in the distance. The frame is about 6 inches thick from the wall. Aside from that, that's kind of all you see at this
It's a very
moment.
important picture.
I want to
See
get a
anything
little.
good in there?
Shut up. I'm gonna get a little closer to the
You
door.
hear shut up around the corner.
And does what does the door look like? Does it look like the same? In which way does it swing? And is there a lock? and all
Different
that
door.
stuff?
This door has no metal pieces. The fastenings that are attaching it to the wall are a strange, almost ceramic-like material. Getting a little closer, and with that roll of 20, it's bone, is a ceramic. The handle itself, this large knob, appears to be maybe stone, quartz perhaps. But there are no metal components to this door. That does stand out to you. There is a keyhole. It is unclear if it's locked.
Without touching the door, can I?
Yeah, make an investigation check.
19.
19. Looking in again, you see kind of darkness. Not like an absence of light necessarily, but it appears as if something's blocking it. It's certainly locked.
Okay. I'm going to cautiously return
Okay.
with my findings.
You creep through. Make a dexterity check as you do. There are just little bits of broken glass and things that I'm assuming you're trying not to touch that are hanging in the air.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Yeah, Mission Impossible style. Underneath, like, part of the glass, you can see you kind of, like, pass underneath one of the flowers that's hanging in the air. It does still smell fragrant. But you return to the doorway without touching anything.
Well, guys, I'm back.
All right, but what did you see?
Was there an exit?
Yeah, there's another door on the other side. It's locked. It has bone on it. And I didn't touch anything, like you said.
Does it
Thank you.
seem like this room is like displaced?
Make an intelligence check.
That's a 13.
Are you relaying everything that you saw to them? You just kind of explained. Taking Morwen's words into mind and thinking about this stone beyond the windows, doesn't really make sense to make windows into just rock.
Yeah.
So you're guessing, yeah, this is probably a space that has been displaced from either time or space,
Or both.
or both.
Do I notice the emerald spire thing?
Yeah.
I'm painting.
Unless you enter the room, it's up against the wall, so it'd be kind of hard to see.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Morwen walk through and back, I'm like not really.
Okay. You
That's
take a couple
afraid.
steps into
Mind
the
you,
room
I
and
didn't
you see
touch
this
anything,
painting.
though.
Yeah, I know.
If you
I'm
touch
not going to
something,
either.
it's your fault.
We're
Make a
touching
history-
the, we're
make a
touching
history
the
check.
floor, but. Wait, I still have guidance 'cause I didn't.
Yeah, you have your guidance. Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh wait, no. I don't remember.
Guidance.
Sure, yeah, that's right.
There you go.
Oh fuck yeah! What is it? History?
Yeah.
That's a 21.
21.
Smart.
Yeah, seeing this,
Wicked
there's an
smart.
immediate sense of displacement, especially for you.
Yeah.
You read a lot, read atlases, you've seen maps, and there is a moment where you are pulled back to Baron Dodd's study. You remember seeing a massive globe that had this drawing of Alberon. You remember in the continent of Everest, there was something marked the Emerald Spire.
Right, and we've heard of that.
And
many
you have
times.
heard of it many times. You remember hearing that it is the last sort of home of the elves, the last of these massively powerful structures that in and of themselves are magical. Very powerful artifacts called mythals. These spires are legendary. There's only one left in Alberon. It is the Emerald Spire.
All right.
With the 21, you do recall that it's in Everest, and looking at this painting and being this is a displaced area,
Right.
this may be a location in Everest.
Right, and that person is an elf.
For sure, yeah. Looking at them, they have this pale, almost purple cast to their skin, green silken pajamas with silver-lined thread around the cuffs. He is wearing, I'll say with the 21, you can see he's wearing this sort of very, very simple leather cord and a disc of wood around. Very simple, carved and then sanded flat.
I kind of mutter out loud, not in particular to like let anyone know, but I'm like, I wonder if they're okay over there.
Can I,
Thinking
Well, I'm
basically
assuming you
like
would have told
this
me
looks
since
like
I
an
already
attack
skipped
that
it.
happened,
But,
and their
was there
mode
anything
of saving
familiar about
themselves
this
was
elf to me?
displacement.
Like, do I know? Can I
Nowhere is
validate
good.
where they're
Like
from
there's
or
an
anything?
attack on Everest.
Make a history check.
Nowhere is
God.
good.
Now that you kind of have an idea
Really
as to where
bad.
this is.
So I want to come back to
Where
that necklace
the hell
thing
is-
too.
Oh, and it's at disadvantage too. Pass.
What is it?
3.
For what?
No, you can't really recognize the kind of elf, or you don't recognize this elf, but there is now that you're in this room and you can see there's Elvish on the bookshelves. There is a sense of nostalgia, but nothing connects to this place.
I want to go investigate the necklace and also sketch it.
Okay. You sketch the necklace. It's a very simple piece of wood.
Yeah. Any markings, religious symbology? Or
No, but the simplicity belies the fact that there is an importance to it. You look around this room, beautiful garments, these complicated books. You can see this magical-looking lantern. All really nice things, really complicated. This necklace is the lone thing that you see that is very simple.
Right.
And in and of itself, that may suggest some kind of significance.
Right. Not touching anything, but names of books, anything like that? Is it in Elvish?
Yeah, there are quite a good number of books, but they are in Elvish, yes.
Yeah, all of them. Okay.
I do the same.
Make an investigation check.
Without being able to.
Do you see the pedestal?
I can read Elvish better than I can
Thistle's
read
kind of wandering
or
around the room
common.
looking at things. I don't see any pedestal here. or
17.
Any kind of crystals.
So should we go through the other room?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds like a good idea. With the 17 looking across these bookshelves, Morgan doesn't read a ton of Elvish. However, there are things that stand out. There is a book that you can see that appears to be a cookbook of some kind. There's like a picture of a fish with most of it kind of deboned, drawn on the front. You make out the words culinary and magic within it. You can see there is a book next to it that does appear to be like a nature guide of some kind. You can make out the words Hustvat and lake. You can see that there is a book simply entitled The Black Spire Incident.
God, these are all so useful.
You can see... that's about it. There are other books that appear to be about little like elements of history and other faraway places, but those are the ones that really catch your eye.
All right, I'm just gonna turn to Heinrich because I know that he can't read Elvish.
What did you make for your investigation? I'm sorry.
17.
There's an additional book, and this one a little bit different. Whereas the other books are all bound and written in Elvish, there is one, as you kind of like look through, you don't touch any, but you can see behind the first, on the very top shelf of this longer bookcase right here, the top shelf behind the first layer of books, there is this red leather-bound book kind of tucked sideways behind. And peering back, there are kind of arcane runes on it. In Elvish, you can read the word book. The other word you can't read, but appears to be magical. Perhaps a spell book.
Some real good reads in here.
I think I've got a plan. All right, you two.
I think about grabbing the book.
Get ready to kill those things.
Tank kind of turns to you. Whoa, wait. Whatever you're about to do, if we can get through this room without dealing with whatever these are, let's investigate that option first.
Okay.
I mean, he's got a point. What if...
Tank is not taking his eyes off you, and you can see he like slowly sheathes a sword, and his hands are like ready.
Yeah. I'm gonna walk
Do you want me
over
to try
the...
to unlock this door?
Yeah, can we like navigate around there without touching the shit in midair?
Yeah, without too much trouble. You guys, you've walked through, you've charted a course, kind of. You can get to the door without issue. You want to try to unlock it?
Well, I'm gonna take out my thieves' tools.
Okay. You see Morwen kind of unravel this long leather pouch with all these little picks and things inside of it.
Oh, you can see him? Oh, I scoot in front so he can't see them.
Okay, so you kind of scoot in front. You see
I see
Morwen
him,
standing in front
like-
of the door.
Yeah. I roll my eyes like, okay, yeah, sure. And I just turn around like, where did Morrowind go?
Oh, no. I'm not hiding myself. I'm hiding my tools.
Oh, there you are. You're so
And I'm scooting in
sneaky.
front of them. Like I see he's looking at my shit.
Sure.
Yeah. But it's my shit.
That's why,
Yeah,
that's
it's
why
your
you
shit.
usually
You
bury your
hide
shit
it.
when you're done with it.
Yes.
What do you want to do with your thieves'
tools?
tools? You want to try to pick the door?
Just gonna like, boop.
Okay. You poke it, and there's this kind of tap as you tap the metal on metal.
Nothing's
but
moving?
Nothing moves.
Wait, metal? Bone?
Sorry, bone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Metal on bone.
So it's not a mimic.
Okay.
At least
Make
yet.
make your thieves' tool check.
I want to do this slowly though, in case I just want to be aware if anything
Door with
pops
bone.
off.
Okay.
or anything.
if you will.
Sure. You're prepared for things to pop up.
I'm kind of like,
25 again.
yeah,
Okay.
readying myself everywhere.
You bend down, you
That's
look into this
disgusting.
lock, and you peer into it, and it is incredibly incredibly complex. This particular lock, you can see a little bit bigger, and you can make out elements where a key would fit in, but almost impossibly, it looks like this key will need to go in and then bend at a right angle, almost 90 degrees. And you can see like bits of tumblers. There's 6 or 7. This, you fiddle around with it for a while. This is a little bit beyond your skill, it seems like.
So can't do it.
25.
I mean,
Do I do it?
you could give it a try if you want again, but it will get harder the more that you try. A 25 does not succeed.
I mean, that's me rolling a 19. So
Shay, can you maybe help us find a key of some kind? Looks like Marwin's having some trouble with this lock.
shut the fuck up.
I mean, looks like
Fine.
it might be
Fine.
faster.
You can see Tank is like starting to look around for a key.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also going to.
Yeah.
give-
Make an
I'll
investigation check.
Come help. Sure.
Sure. Everybody roll an
Oh, fuck
investigation
yeah,
check.
what up? 23.
Great. Couple
Nice
things,
encounters.
catch your eye.
What's up?
Couple
Oh,
things catch
boy.
your eye.
18.
18?
11.
Less than all of those.
Gunter, you're a little nervous to really explore the room. You see
12.
these large creatures, each bigger than you. And
I'm
you,
ready to kill him though.
yeah, and you also see Tank. Though he's looking around, his eyes are still very much on you, and his hands are still out. Like he kind of has a sense that you're going to do something.
Something good.
Kind of
there.
stops looking and kind of gets closer to you
Getting
again.
ready.
With a 23.
Yeah.
Shay, you also notice a couple of the things that have been seen. You see this painting, and you imagine this painting is like the frame is comically large,
Yeah.
probably hiding something behind it. You imagine that as well,
Mm-hmm.
but beyond that, you see a couple other things. This lantern was made out of copper, and it isn't giving off any heat as you get close to it, so it's definitely a magical light.
Mm-hmm.
These papers are in Elvish, and you kind of look at them, and they don't make a ton of sense to you. There are arcane runes that appears to be talking about some kind of magic.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick out a couple. I'll say with that score, a couple of things that seem like locations.
Mm-hmm.
You see Zarek Vaslain,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see Anvir Crotasim, which Elvish for sure, but doesn't ring any bells. As you sort of look around on the bookcases, you can see that there is certainly a spell book tucked behind the top layer of books. You can't really make out what it says. It is in Elvish.
Mm-hmm. Any
Uh,
keys?
So, looking around for a little bit, you do notice, as you look, there's a moment where you do see a key
Mm-hmm.
in that creature's mouth.
Which one? The one that's like,
This one right here.
yeah.
You can see clutched within these jagged, not teeth, I guess, actually, because it doesn't have a mouth per se, but almost like woven into the flesh, there is this large brass key.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it would fit the keyhole to that door.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Not yet. Hold on.
Do you want me to
anything
hold him
stupid.
or something?
Yeah, maybe. Kind of.
Fine. I'm
For
gonna
now.
Slap his hand away.
His hand doesn't move. You kind of slap it and...
I assume from where I'm standing, is anyone else closer to the portrait?
Strength checks.
Yeah, sure, go
Is
for it.
anyone else closer to the
I
portrait?
feel like I probably would have stopped there,
Yeah.
considering
23.
that's.
Yeah.
So yeah, you go up and you try to brush his hand away and you just kind of slap it right into the gauntlet. Hurts.
You saw something weird with that painting too, right? Do you want to check it out?
Do you want me to check it out?
I don't know. Do we
Go
still
check
feel
it
like-
out. Guidance.
God damn it!
You feel this kind of like a static shock.
I think I'm
almost.
gonna.
Wait, before you do,
take that.
hold on.
I'm gonna take that and sleight of hand the key, or maybe.
No, I was gonna say.
You can, looking at it from where it is, you can see like it looks
there a way
as
to,
if
like-
it had been shoved through the flesh and then the flesh had been healed around it.
Okay.
So it's like solidly, like it seems like this bluish rubbery flesh is like it's threaded through elements of it. It would be difficult. You could try.
I was gonna say if
I'd
you're
rather
gonna
try that and you get the painting.
Okay.
Okay.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna try to do it. If you're gonna touch the painting and shit goes alive, then I was just
So I'm
gonna
gonna
rip it out
try it.
first and try to.
I'm about to pop off.
But
Yeah,
you're
sure.
probably-
Yeah, can we
no, but
do
you're
whatever
stronger
we're
than
gonna
I
do,
am if you have to
please?
rip it off.
I'm not stronger.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
You two have the same strength score.
There is this kind of like,
slowly bring my
as, like
Alright.
as Tank takes the visor up a little bit. Can you please do the painting if you're going to do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Slowly bring my.
I'll walk
hands
over towards
up.
the painting then if you want to get this key out of his mouth. Plus you got a claw.
Why don't you just
maybe
help
like.
me? Why don't you stand there to help me?
Fine. We'll both try to
Fiddling.
delicately do that.
So, currently, the way that everything is set up, because this seems like it may be relevant, you have Gunter.
Yeah, I'm like right by the
Tank.
doorway, I think.
Wait, that's the painting.
You have Heinrich. Painting is right there, yeah.
I feel like I would have been where Morrowind is, and Morrowind would be where I am. Because of the door.
Yeah, I haven't moved Morwen to where she is, but
No,
Morwen's going to
wait.
touch the painting, right?
No. Morrowind's doing the mouth, the key mouth.
Okay, so you are right in front of this guy.
No, I'm just readying myself to the side to grab the key if he becomes alive.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go for it.
Yeah.
Like,
Morwen,
okay.
sorry, Shay is doing the painting. Thistle is still standing in the hallway.
That's what I'm doing here. Just
Ready
in
for
case.
hugs.
Kind of wanders back and just goes, I'm going to wait out here and
Okay.
Probably smart.
Okay.
Gunter, if you make it out of there, let's celebrate a little. I need to relax.
What about me?
Oh!
Oh,
Why
yeah.
don't I just... Oh, God,
That's a
Thistle!
great plan. You go to that.
I'll just wait in the doorway.
What are you doing?
Just in case anything pops off.
Was it obvious
I'm
if it
gonna
moved in some way,
take a
or
step back.
Seems like it's just a hung painting, so you could probably just lift it off.
okay, I'm lifting it.
I'm stepping back to like peek through the door
Okay.
with Thistle.
You peek
I'm
through
gonna-
the door.
So that
Sorry,
I'm
can I
like
ready myself a little bit more? No, you can talk.
outside.
Okay.
I'm
Move the painting.
outside
You're outside.
I'm moving it.
I'm peeking
I'm
in.
moving
Ready
it. I'm
myself
moving
a
it.
little
I'm
more.
moving it. I'm moving it. I'm moving it.
Too late. No, what are you doing?
Shay,
What are you doing?
as you get ready to do something, you watch as Shay touches it, and there is this moment where the painting kind of almost seems to shrink into the frame a little bit as it rapidly seems to age, and it pulls away in your hands.
Oh.
Behind, there's a carved out space within this wall. You can see there are a number of gold coins that are kind of piled up neatly. There seems to be this piece of wood, cylindrical, very finely carved, almost seems like maybe a teak kind of wood, is a wand, and it does appear to be magical. You can see that there is this little black pouch with a cinched string that's up against the back. That is what you see.
Nothing that looks like a key. There is a pouch.
Readying to dispel magic.
Yep.
Looks like there might be a wand of some kind.
Should we take that?
Take it all! Let's get on!
Wait.
What if we just get out of here?
I'm kind of with Heinrich on this one.
That's interesting. What happened?
Let's see if we can get the key. And then if we can open the other door, then we could take it.
Okay.
and-
Are you gonna grab it or
Did
am I
I
gonna grab it?
see the picture crumble? I saw that.
Yeah, everybody saw it because it actually made like a kind of
So,
sound as it shrunk around the frame.
so did it seem like it was reverting back to the present time, as if like time just
Rapidly aging?
sped up to it, like catch up to it?
Yeah, it seemed as if everything here is kind of suspended.
It has been
and-
for a
and I would
while
say at
because
this
of the
point-
name of the age of the door.
Yes. And I would say at this point you can kind of the door itself doesn't seem to necessarily match the interior here.
Oh, okay.
That being said, you get the sense that when something in this room is touched, it is released from this kind of chronal lock. It will age rapidly to catch up to where it should be. Unclear what that will do to these creatures.
Yeah. Just this one then we'll have to
But it
touch.
appears that it's whatever you touch.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, yeah.
I think
should I-
I should just lop off this guy's head.
Okay, so
right.
here's what I'm thinking. You get ready. As soon as I blow my breath in there,
Ew.
you chop off their heads as they're rapidly aging.
Why not just do them one at a time? Why do all of them at once? That seems like a really bad advantage or disadvantage
Yeah,
there.
I kind of
It
agree.
is.
Let's all.
If
let's
we do
all
them
one
all
Gunter,
at
don't
once,
do
there's
anything.
no way for them to stop it.
No.
We gotta
The other one
hit
wouldn't
them all
move.
before they hit us.
No, they won't hit us until we hit them. So no, that's a bad idea. I want to go grab the lantern. I'm just gonna because it keeps calling to me. I just tell.
Okay, so you go over and you kind of touch it, and as it does, it falls into your hands.
Yeah. Does it
It is
rapidly age?
you can see like
Just
elements
goes
of the
out.
metal
I'm just kidding.
seem to patina somewhat. So it goes from being this kind of bright lantern that's been very well
New.
kept for, and it just ages slightly, and it's a little darker. But yeah, it does seem to age. The light does not flicker or move. It is a magical light.
Okay. Check this out later. Put it in the bag.
Okay, no problem. You can
And
add. You can add elven lantern to your inventory.
Magic elven lantern, or I'll just asterisk it.
Yeah.
Take the bag.
Gunter. Hi, Thistle's like right next to you.
What? Yeah.
Remember back in the Chords Temple, and you yelled at that big thing and it just disappeared?
Yeah.
Couldn't you just make that guy disappear and then we could just grab the key?
Yeah.
But what if you
go
banish him with
it.
the key?
Yeah.
I say to this conversation.
Why not? Why
I mean,
not?
he's not trying to hide his conversation.
You get ready to strike. I'll ready my hand to grab the key as you strike it, and it catches up with us.
Well, how about
That's what I'm saying. Why don't I just lop off his
stand
head?
behind one, and then I'll pop off,
No popping off. We're
and then
not.
I'll banish whatever stays in.
I'm gonna walk over and close the door in Gunter's face.
And I'll probably...
Gunter, this is for our own safety since you're not in here.
Thaumaturgy, roll!
Yeah.
Thistle kind of recoils right next to you.
I walk back over and I ready my hand next to the key. I'm like, just hit its neck, cut its head off or something.
Yeah.
All right, everyone else get ready. Tank,
I mean,
get
should
over
I
here.
not?
Tank, get over here. You also get ready to wang this thing
Wang this thing.
with an H. It's with
It's
an
an
H.
interesting choice
Wang
of
with
words,
an H.
but,
You think?
Wang it.
Wang it exactly.
Yeah,
Good.
Tank, get ready to wang.
Gunter knows what I'm talking about.
I know a good wang when I see one.
Of course, Gunter knows what you're talking about.
You are standing now right in front of it. Make a perception check.
Let's do
to
like
see
an
your-
execute motion as I like grab the
Natural
key.
20.
Natural 20.
Crushing it.
Everyone should just be ready to just simultaneously chop.
Oh shit!
As
As she's doing that, I grab the. No, I don't.
well,
grab
so
the book.
this is
That
an
book
investigation check,
no,
or a perception
grabbing
check.
that book for
As you are close and kind of readying yourself, you take a minute to really look at this creature. The skin is there is no like little follicles or marks on it. It's like rubber. You get the sense looking at this, it's not necessarily of Alberon. It's not a beast. Definitely has a fiendish quality to it. You also get the sense
This
looking
bitch
at
is
it,
a fiend.
looking at it, that rubbery skin probably wouldn't catch fire. You think back to the beholder and how it smoldered down to the ground. I would also say, looking at this thing, you can now look at the tail and you kind of follow up to where it forks at the end. And now you can see there are these tiny little bristles that kind of go around it. And there are elements of this kind of green, kind of crystally green liquid
Well,
that seems
poison.
paused
God
at the
damn it.
top. Unclear if it's poison, but it does appear to be something. I would also say, you notice something about this creature is deeply unsettling. The fact that it is frozen is helpful, but even being this close to it and waiting, you feel the presence of this creature is unsettling. Do with that what you will.
Okay, guys, maybe we should just go through the other room. This guy's giving me the heebie-jeebies. I just don't know. I don't feel good about it.
Just
Got a
grab it,
scorpion
we'll
tail.
go. Get the key, get the bag.
I don't feel very.
Are you gonna make me do it?
You can hear through the door.
I'm gonna go grab the magic, the like book of spells or whatever that looked like.
You reach behind the shelf, and as you grab it, you do hear the actual leather binding creak as it shrinks ever so slightly. The pages do yellow a bit, but almost at once they kind of straighten themselves back out, and this magical item seems to resist aging somewhat.
Okay, bag it.
Sure. You can add a spell book to your inventory. Flipping through it, kind of as you bag it, there does seem to be at least one spell within there in Elvish.
Right.
So you grab that book.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll do it, but I'm just saying this thing, man, it's fucked up,
this is still.
and I don't scare easy.
This still feels better to me this way than the
You're
other way
scared
with all the
of these
rust.
things,
I
but
think-
you weren't
I
scared
think
of the
that-
beast thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Lame.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen some
Thaumaturgy.
scary shit. This
Lame.
guy's scary.
Gunter, that's very loud in this hallway, and it's just you and me out here, so maybe...
Sorry, buddy.
All right, Tank, Morwen.
Yeah.
Just ready to attack, and I'm gonna.
All right, someone.
I'm gonna get
Draws
my
the
dagger.
sword out
I'm gonna get
and-
my dagger ready and
I'm
just
gonna
try to
tell
do like
Tank
a
to
stab in its face, pull out thing, but not. I'm not doing that. I'm
So
getting
you're,
ready to.
You're getting
do that.
ready to kind of like and just like pull it out as
Well,
you
like
cut away.
kind of like cut and
Cut and pull, okay.
I'm going to.
And we'll do it on 3.
I'm gonna ask
Maybe
Tank
you
to
can
see
come
if
help
he
to
can
beat
get an
this thing up
angle
too and
around that
protect it.
tail, so he can lop it off. Because if this thing comes to life,
I'm
I
gonna
think
ready
that
a vanish.
is poisonous, and that's coming straight at me.
Okay, again, the door is closed in your face.
Yeah.
I'm readying a kick open the door to vanish.
I mean, you can just open it back up if you want. I was more like making a point that like
This
don't
one
act on
sees
your
what
own.
you're doing and he goes, Gunter, do you want me to open the door?
Yeah, go for it. Teamwork.
I'm
Let's
not
go.
standing in front of
opens
it.
And Shay's on the other side, kind of taps you. Oh, sorry. He
I just,
closes
like,
the door and
elbow it
turns
shut
to you.
again.
I don't think they're ready yet.
Okay, open it up again. We'll be ready for them.
I'll, like,
Alright.
edge
He
my
opens it again.
heel into it so it's like real hard to move.
It's locked, Gunter.
It's not locked. Shay, stop it.
Ignoring you.
All right.
All right. At
You
the
feel
count
every
of-
now and then this kind of rhythmic almost pulses as he just keeps trying to open it, but not
Let
very
me
hard.
in.
All right. I'm gonna ready putts.
Okay.
Putts. I'm gonna ready putts to like,
Okay.
you know,
Like
like zombie style.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
yeah, the one that you just did. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna say count of 3. Tank, are you ready to lop off that tail?
He's holding the sword and he says, I'm as ready as I can be. I
All
still
right.
think it's a terrible idea.
I
Well,
agree
how
with
else do
you.
we get through? What do you?
3,
I don't know.
2, 1.
And then
Okay, you stab up, he swings down.
I stab in and try to pull
you
the
stab
key
it
out.
and you reach for the key, but it is 10:45.
I know. Yeah.
So
times
we're going to break
trying to hope that
right
we
here,
this
and
is
then
right.
we'll come back to figure out how this is all
Oh,
going to
shit.
shake out.
Probably not well.
It's going to be interesting. So, thank you guys so much for joining in so far. It is 10:48. We're going to be back at like 11, call it 11:10. We're going to take like 20 minutes. We'll be back. We will resume what is happening in the time stopped transpository when we return. I'm going to run a commercial right now. We're going to run a commercial at the end of the break, and when that commercial is done, we're going to come back. So it's
Go
going
get some popcorn.
which is a great time.
Grab a drink.
Get some popcorn, grab a drink, do something. The ads do support us. It's a way that you can support us without donating any money. Just donate some of your time. You don't even need to watch, just like Matt's saying.
Grab a drink. Grab
Walk
a popcorn.
off.
I think it's Gunter.
Use the restroom.
It is
Maybe it is Gunter.
Yeah.
It's one of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, go watch one of those adverts.
It is 10:48. We will
understands
be back
this.
at 11:10.
We're back.
Welcome back.
Guys,
to
we're really sorry we
Adventures in
lost
Alberon.
Allie.
We did. We lost Allie. She's gone forever now. It's very
Warren went
unfortunate.
snuck.
She rolled really high for a stealth check. She could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for tagging along, for sticking with us through the break. Thank you especially if you stayed with us through all those ads. Very helpful to us to grow as a channel. Which reminds me, as Matt usually says, don't forget to follow, subscribe. And I think
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
like and subscribe. Whatever.
It's his line. Let him do
Sweet
it.
and simple. Be sure to like and subscribe.
Thank you very much. The subscriptions
More,
really
what'd
help
you get
us. Oh, look at that. The subscriptions really help us out. None of this stuff is free. I fund all of it. So for all of the stuff that we put together, quite a price tag. We really enjoy being able to bring it to you guys. It'll still come regardless, but the more support that we have, the cooler things that we can bring to you. With that said, let's dive back into this game. When we left off, you guys had formulated a plan to simultaneously attack this creature as Heinrich attempts to wrench this key out of
Well, carve it.
its carve and then wrench the key out of this
I
seamless
thought it was a
face.
key, not a wrench.
And now we're all gonna die.
Where's
Where did
the
my
tally?
whiteboard- Oh, it's over here.
There's the
I was
tally.
like, where did my whiteboard go? So, a couple things are going to happen all at once. I need everybody to roll initiative,
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
and then we're going to do a surprise round,
Yeah.
and then we're going to get into the meat of what is about to happen.
Is it a strength check with that thing?
Wow, good day for initiative.
We're going to get to you on your turn with what you're doing, so
Okay.
I'll get to that in just a moment. Let me pull up some more appropriate music.
We're all gonna die.
No, we always say that. Only.
We always say
Don't
that.
worry, I'll try to die before everyone
We
else.
just got rid of beholders. These are probably like
I don't know. These might be pit
No,
fiends.
No, I'm scared
a
of them.
little tougher.
Mildly.
Mildly. Just, ever so
You know,
slightly.
ever so slightly.
Alright, give me just one sec.
And trust me, I've seen a lot in my lives.
Huh.
All right. Anybody natural 20? 25 to 20?
28.
28.
Holy shit.
28 from Morwen, who's going to lead us off in just a moment. Do we have 20 to 15?
18.
18 for Shay. 10 to 15?
14.
The
14
music means we
for-
didn't kill it immediately.
Nope.
Makes you what?
I said the music means we did not kill it immediately.
Well,
I don't
the
know
fact
yet.
we're rolling
I have
initiative.
no idea.
Well, I
we're gonna
know, I'm
do
just
we're gonna do
kidding.
the surprise round first. Tank is moving kind
Am
of
I gonna
slow.
get to banish on the surprise round?
You're still behind
It's
the
up to
door.
you. what
That's
you
the
do.
surprise.
No,
is you are
they
banished.
open the door.
I'm still standing in front of it. Are you opening it around
Ah,
me?
good point. So you
Oh yeah,
currently the door
we've
is
just
shut.
been
Yeah, you guys have
banging
been
on
banging
it.
on
You're
it.
banging on it because
I've
I'm
been
still
like,
standing in
So-
front of it.
This is how this is going to work. We're gonna have Morwen, based on where you guys are. Morwen is gonna go, then Tank is gonna go, because they're making their attacks simultaneous to this. So we'll do it in the order: Morwen, Tank, Heinrich, because you're gonna then try to wrench it out. The amount of damage that they do will directly impact how easy it is for you to do this.
Right.
Once you go, Gunter. No, Shay and then Gunter will go. And then finally, that will be the end of the surprise. And then we'll get into their turn. So, Morwen.
So since it's a surprise, is that also kind of... Would I get my sneak attack bonus on this?
You don't know?
wait.
I will say at this moment, yes. This thing is suspended. Currently
I guess even flanking all that
chronologically
stuff, right?
locked.
Well,
Flanking doesn't really
Oh,
matter.
I know.
Yeah.
I always...
but-
yeah.
But yes, you will get. We'll say you get sneak
I
attack
think
for this.
you like always have it.
Oh,
as a
it's
soft
if
button.
I
If
have,
you're attacking at advantage.
Yeah, and if I have, I think,
An ally
friends,
within 5 feet of it,
allies,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
See the equivalent of flanking if it was a rule.
Yeah. So it's at an
Also,
advantage as well.
Swashbuckler, I think you just pretty much.
sorry,
always
at
have
advantage
it
you said.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
for one
24.
hand.
24 hits.
Cool beans. For a 10,
Plus.
Plus a lot.
13, 18, 23,
Ha
28.
Big
28.
rolls. Big
So-
rolls.
First thing that happens, Morwen, very quick off the draw, thrusts forward with
On 3.
pus.
Like
On
before
3,
my word even finishes.
It's and you thrust forward, and you jab straight into the chest. As that happens, you feel there's a moment where it pushes in and doesn't quite puncture. This is very rubbery skin. You get the sense there is more to the skin than you've guessed. But eventually there is this kind of, and it pops out as the blade slides through. This thing unfreezes, makes no sound. The wings kind of flutter.
Sorry, I don't know if this is because of how, like, the rolls and everything,
Sure.
but I did have my thing angled
Fair.
here.
Okay, so it does puncture up and then
Okay.
out through part
For
of the
whatever
skull.
difference it makes.
You can see there is no
Technicals.
face, and so it doesn't seem to react. But it does, like, immediately, you can see elements of the skin kind of, not wither, but they do grow a little tougher as it ages immediately. You do 28 damage to it.
Is this thing also... Is it, like, reflective? Like, can I see my reflection in its
You can see, like,
faceless
shimmer
face?
of color, but not like a reflection.
Ah, that'd be cool if I could see myself.
Unfortunately, you cannot.
Think about it next time.
So, Tank is going to take his attack at the exact same time, and he's going to miss.
Of course.
That's the one he really
Sounds about
shouldn't
right.
have missed.
And you know what's so
It's not-
funny? I've used so many dice for Tank,
Yeah,
and it
none of
doesn't
them
matter
work.
what it is.
Hey,
He just
Here,
rolls
here,
through.
try these
No,
guys.
give me a
he's
second.
he's a meat shield.
So,
His name's
Heinrich,
Attack, it's
you
Tank.
see this kind of like piercing happen.
Yeah.
It makes no noise, but you see it start to move.
Yeah.
You are going to try to make your attack roll
It's
first.
like attack and pull.
Yeah.
Bonus
Same time,
pull,
but
I
make your
suppose.
attack first.
Well, that's not going to hit, so it doesn't matter. I mean, 11.
11, that does not.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh wait,
So-
no, aren't these all at advantage? Or was it just mine?
Just yours because it
Okay.
was
With surprise
frozen.
round or no?
Surprised? Yeah, I'll say it's at advantage. That
Okay.
makes sense to me.
Would
This is all
Tank-
happening
would
like
Tank have
right at the
advantage?
moment. What?
would Tank get advantage then?
He still missed.
Okay.
He had advantage on his for different reasons,
Oh,
but
yeah, this is a 22.
22 hits. Roll damage.
Yeah, alright. Thanks, Dagger. Oh, max. Alright. 6.
6.
That's
Max.
That's as high of a damage output as Heinrich has for now.
You
so.
jab in with your dagger and it punctures through. There's a moment again you feel this. Your wrist
Right.
bends awkwardly because it
Yeah.
is so resistant, but you puncture through.
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel it sink into something.
Cool. And then I kind of like try to. It's like a push in, like slide out as I try to
Sure.
pull the key out.
Make a athletics check. Just
11.
11. You yank out and it snags on the flesh. You hear this kind of
Yeah.
as it tears partially
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
But it stays within. It's a strange flesh. It's rubbery, and as it tears, there is no blood, and there is no sound from the creature.
Sure. I mean, I'm staying here and holding on.
Okay.
I'm not.
Yeah, its face is
The
like
goal is
already-
getting the key out of it.
There are no
whether or not I take
teeth.
damage.
As you like have ripped this open, there are no teeth or anything. There is no tongue. It is just this kind of meaty space. There's no brain.
This thing is totally a Dementor type thing.
That is going to bring us to Shay.
How tall is the ceiling?
You're on deck, Hunter. The ceiling in this room is 8 feet tall. It's not terribly
Oh,
high.
sure.
Not
Yeah,
great.
it's. I mean, this is a study. It's not a dungeon. This has been transposed into the space.
Right.
These ceilings are like higher, 12 feet.
What do you want to do?
I'll run up, kind of in between Heinrich and Tank.
Okay. Between Heinrich and Tank.
I feel like I would have
Don't
yelled
touch
out.
nothing.
I feel like I would have yelled out loud, like "It's stuck," just to justify you running
Gunter,
around
you
here.
hear it stuck, and you see the door ever so slightly shift forward as if
As I'm banging, it just
Yeah.
like.
opens up a little bit. Yeah.
Oh.
What are you doing?
In an effort to kind of help dislodge it, I'm gonna hit it.
You're gonna punch it in the
gonna
face
punch
to
it in
take
the
out
face
the
to
key.
take
Yeah, when
out
you
the
see me
key.
trying to
So
pull
you're
this
gonna try
way,
to
Word.
punch the key out.
yeah, yeah,
Well, he's,
I'm
like,
holding it this
pulling
way,
it.
like follow through, like this
I'm like
way.
going on the other side, like punch it out.
Oh,
the other
that
side.
makes more sense. I thought you were just gonna be like, wham.
No.
You're trying to like
Let it
punch
go.
the flesh
Like,
away.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Make your attack.
like in line with the
Like,
key.
punch-
That does. So just as a
Sure,
reminder,
like,
targeting a specific spot on an enemy
Makes
increases the
Makes
AC.
that hurt,
out.
Who's shaking the table?
I don't know. 21.
It was probably me.
21?
I'm super jittery.
Don't bounce your knees.
I can't.
Yes.
Like,
Oh yeah, that hits. So
It's
you
gonna
go up
happen.
and you
Sorry.
strike it like right on the other side of where the flesh is already mangled and ripping away
For 9.
for 9 points of damage.
Now here's a unique mechanical question that I want to posit.
Sure.
Could I, as a reaction, try the yank again?
I would say yes. However, you
Yeah.
don't need to, because as Shay steps
Okay.
forward,
Cool.
you can see there is like a scrap of this rubbery flesh hanging on. And without any trouble, you don't even have to strike it. You take your hand and just cut through. And there is a moment where you can actually feel the key gather around the edge of your hand. This is a magical attack. And you actually, more than like rip or tear, you cut the flesh with your hand.
Ew.
It severs, and there's this kind of as it snaps apart.
I am
It is
impressed.
like
Through the
rubber.
hand.
You now hold this key in your hand.
Cool.
I hit it twice more just
Sure.
because I'm here.
Do it.
Like, might as well.
You're apparently more effective than all of us.
22.
Yep, that hits.
6.
6 points of damage. You hit it again. This time again, striking it in the face. It rears back, and you can see as it does, there is not a brain, but this black kind of spongy mass within its skull, and it kind of recoils back again. Makes no sound.
Sure.
I'm now
Other than,
picturing
like,
this
the-
as more of like
the
a total like
smack.
dominatrix, like weird latexy dude.
Ew.
You're not
But okay.
terribly far off. It is this
I'm not,
like
right?
disgustingly thin, maybe 7 foot tall humanoid hunched over, leathery wings that spread into rubbery skin. It
I think we
is
should leave him alone. He's
How does
don't
an
kink
18?
shame.
huh?
18.
18? Yeah,
leave him alone.
18. You're just trying to hit him in general?
Yeah.
Yeah, that hits.
I don't know,
Just
that's
hits.
what he's into.
Maybe she was.
How much?
8.
8.
Yeah.
Guys, AC 17 probably.
This time you like
18.
lunge forward and you try to swipe at it and hit it in the body. You kick, and there is a moment where it kind of your leg almost like bounces off, but you can feel something like dig deep in. These physical attacks, they're doing what you would expect. You kind of imagine based on the skin that it wouldn't, but you're doing normal damage.
I really like that. Just you hit it in the body.
I hit it.
Well, you've been hitting
Its
it in the
existence.
face.
No,
Yeah,
I know.
you hit it in the
I
body.
know why you did it. It's just funny. Like
And
you
then-
hit it in the body.
Gonna. I'm
You hit it
gonna
in
back
the
into the
kink.
corner.
Crouch on the chair and hiss.
Do you?
No.
Okay. You back into the corner, readying yourself.
Yep.
Gunter, what do you want to do?
Now that the door is open, I'm like, ah, let me in.
The door swings in. You see Thistle kind of go, "Oh, you're strong, Gunter."
Do I see
It's around
in
the
front
corner.
of me the?
You see
two frozen people.
two frozen people. You can see Heinrich holding a key in his hand, like out like this, and you can also see Morwen kind of crouched a little bit, arm thrust out forward.
Movement, right?
Yep.
And
And you can kind of now round the corner, and you see this creature beginning to recoil back from all of this damage. It's looking pretty rough.
I'm gonna turn to the frozen one. Banishment.
For it.
Okay. You watch as Gunter streaks around the corner, quickly looks up, one eye kind of like going in either direction, and he turns and just goes, "Come away!" It auto fails this because it is locked in
Not from
time.
this plane.
So there is this kind of just, and it's gone. For 1 minute.
Did you say streaks around the corner? Is he clothed?
He is closed.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't banishment function that if it's not from the native plane that it's if it's not native to the plane that it's on, then it's just gone?
Heinrich
Gone?
doesn't know.
God damn it!
That is your turn.
I would not know that.
And then I'm gonna bonus action.
Why couldn't you banish the
Give-
one?
I'm gonna give.
We're actually
Because it's
attacking.
fucking Gunter. Are you kidding
some
me?
Shield of faith.
Okay.
Like,
Should have moved back to
go
the
get
door.
him, buddy.
And Heinrich, you feel this kind of this
Great.
roll
I'm gonna
through
be
the
like leaving the room
ground.
soon. So
That is Gunter's turn. This brings us into regular initiative. That creature is no longer the one that's frozen is no longer there. However, that is not the one that was going to act. Okay, so immediately in front of it is Morwen. So it is going to go ahead and as it looks up, you can see this rubbery flesh just hanging away from its face. There's like a gaping hole in the entirety. Its presence is so horrific and baleful. I need Tank, Shay, I need everybody to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Wah, wah.
Fuck. Gunter. Oh.
15.
I was gonna remind
Okay.
you.
18.
Oh, I know.
Oh. I got a 5.
I got a 9.
Shay, there's a moment where you see this and kind of avert your eyes.
Uncanny dodge, I close my eyes.
Dexterity
I'm just kidding.
area effects. You close your eyes and kind of look away. You look back. You've seen terrible things and you're able to shrug this off. The rest of you
Oh,
give in to this baleful presence. All creatures within 30 feet who are aware of it and fail the wisdom saving throw have disadvantage on all attacks and saving throws for 1 minute.
okay.
You can repeat your saves at the end of your turn.
Yep.
And once you succeed on the save, you are immune for 24 hours. Shay is now immune for 24 hours. So, that is the first part of its multi-attack. It is now going to make 2 clutching claw attacks on Morwen. The first one is going to be a 24 to hit.
Uncanny dodge.
Okay,
So
so you take half damage.
Yeah.
That is going to be 14 points of piercing damage, halved to 7. Second attack.
Yep.
That is going to be a 25 to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hits. That is going... More one. That is going to be 16 points of slashing damage.
So that
total
is 23.
I also need you to make a strength saving throw, please.
Okay, wait. Let me deduct the 23.
Sure.
It's not like
A
you can
strength
drag it
saving
anywhere.
throw? Pff, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure
Not
you're
like
great
it's-
at it.
Yeah, it's trapped in this room as much as we are.
17.
Oh,
17.
nice.
As these claws
Yeah, that was
slash
lucky.
across, you feel them like extend into you ever so slightly as if it's trying to grapple you. And you manage to use the sort of feline flexibility to arch your arm away from it. It does not manage to grapple you, however. It is going to make its final attack with its barbed tail. You see, almost too late. No, you definitely see too late. This tail streak out towards you. That is going to be a 24 to hit.
Yeah.
You take 2 piercing damage, plus
A bunch of poison damage. Oh, that was multiple. Oh, boy.
11 poison damage. At the end of its turn, it is going to, the wings kind of spread out, and where you expect a sound, there is just silence. It lifts off the ground, still only, like a foot or 2 off the ground, and it's going to fly over to the other side of Gunter.
Attack of opportunities.
It moves fast.
It's a
This
small room, though.
particular flyby, it is. It's only 8 feet tall. Even though it stays within range, one of the features of this creature, it does have something called flyby. If it makes an attack and moves while
Does
flying,
not have, yeah.
does not provoke an opportunity attack. It moves quick. And because of how silent it is, it's hard to get a bead. You feel wind as it goes by, but you don't hear.
Yep.
It is utterly silent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was top of the order.
Oh,
That is
shit.
its turn. Morwen, what do you want to do?
Regret missing something.
Yeah, I've been meaning to say evasion. A canny dodge means I can use my reaction. Oh, no, I don't.
You did it right.
I misread that.
You did it right.
Okay. I was like, wait, I can use my reaction
Yeah,
to attack?
no,
No,
you
it's
did it
half
right.
the attack. Okay.
So you can go ahead and it's your turn. Shay, you're on deck. Gunter, you're in the hole.
All right. I mean, I'm running up to it and pussing its butts.
My camera's blurry.
What?
Let's see if that focuses it.
Your camera's
Go ahead, make your attack. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh.
One's gonna be blurry. That's the right one.
That would be a 20. I mean, a 14.
A 14. You
Wait.
swing forward with pus, and it just goes wide. This thing
Where are
moves
you on the
so
map,
quickly.
I ran over.
Yeah.
I'm following
She's
it.
right. I would assume that you are like.
So what? That's 10
Would you have bumped
that I've used.
Would you have bumped the frozen in time person?
Probably not. You're
Okay.
fine with that.
Kind of hoping to see
I mean,
what
I'm very
happens there.
nimble. In all fairness.
Yeah. I would say like Gunter making the same attack, I'd probably have him roll for it, but with Morwen, not too much trouble. Morwen and Shay very, very easily.
Yeah.
All right. I butts.
Okay. This rapier goes wide, but you swing around with the follow through. Go ahead and roll your attack.
11.
11. Yeah, this thing again just kind of shifts, and you don't hear it. It's almost as if it's teleporting. You can tell that it's not, but this thing is really quick. And you're fast, and you've seen Shay move right around the same speed.
To be a stickler too, but we all have disadvantage on attack rolls.
This is true. So, roll once more just in case it's a one.
Sorry.
It's a 3. So.
Sure.
It's not a 1, which is the
all
important
that
part.
matters. All that
All
matters.
right. Shit, and I didn't land an attack.
You did not.
Oh wait, no, I can bonus action.
Disengage.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm
Bonus
gonna
action.
disengage and just back up. No, I mean back up to I guess where I was before. I jumped up on that table.
You jump down and kick back and land back in your original
Well,
spot.
I'm not gonna go behind Heinrich because I know he's kind of useless right now. So I'm gonna be
Remembering
tough.
Heinrich's state.
I didn't mean
you-
useless. I
Yeah.
just meant
No, it's fine.
less helpful.
You stand
I
protected.
mean, I got the key, but that's about all I have going for me.
Shay, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna
Gunter,
tell
you're
you
next.
behind me like
Heinrich, you're in the
unlock the
hole.
door.
I'm gonna run over.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit it, I guess.
You gotta hit it, I guess. Go ahead and roll an attack. Trying to autofocus
Yeah.
it into me because it is blurry. I see
How
it.
is it?
I don't know.
That's weird.
17.
Oh yeah, it is.
Didn't work, but we'll figure it out. I bet there's probably something smudged on it or something.
I was about to say it looks
17?
like it's smudged like could be a fingerprint.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Just. And then.
17
You didn't.
just
you weren't in
misses.
it.
Roll
What are you
one.
trying to do?
18 hits,
one.
though.
18 hits.
Oh, no,
18
that's fine.
just
Yeah,
hits.
it wasn't-
Sorry, that's all that matters.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
8.
8. So you strike forward again. This time, first time it does manage to dodge, but you anticipate it this time. Using your monk training, sort of watching as it moves. As it like zips out of the way, you swing forward with your leg and you connect pretty hard. It's looking hurt. You don't see, besides like the elements of the face that are torn away, any interior damage or anything like that.
Last one. That's gonna hit. It's 25.
Yeah, it recoils after you
And
hit.
it
Just
needs to make a constitution save,
there
please.
you go. What is the DC for that?
15.
I'm gonna be honest. I might try to touch this elf.
That's gonna be a natural 20.
Okay.
As
I
you
try
hit
to
and you
touch
channel
this
some of the key, you feel the key in this
sounds
creature is
creepier
weird.
than I
It is a
imagined.
fiendish entity, and you've already seen within its head, not the normal anatomy.
8 damage.
8 damage. All right. That is your
Sorry, I
turn.
didn't mean to talk. I'm just.
Going to move myself to put myself between it and Thistle.
Okay, so you
We need to get through this room and out the other
It's like
side.
super cracked out in front of
moved.
freaking go.
here, I'm gonna put it between this. Okay, so yeah, you do stay more or less where you were. That is your turn.
Yes.
Gunter, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna use my solidarity action to help.
6 seconds have passed since you banished that creature, by the way.
Yes. And I'm going to use the bonus action to attack. Try to open up an opportunity. Be like, hey, yo! And smack him in the face with the axe.
Okay. Good. Make your attack with the axe.
That's 22.
22. 22 hits.
Alright.
Make your axe damage.
Alright. Seven plus. What is that? Mm, 10.
10. And real quick, just to make sure, that was a disadvantage, correct? The attack?
Was it a disadvantage?
Yeah. All attacks are
Oh, yeah.
disadvantage.
You got spooked.
I got spooked. 16, so it's still a 20.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, wow.
No
Yes,
problem.
something.
So you sink the axe into it. This time, kind of cleaving into like the shoulder portion of it. You feel bones split and crack. There's still no sound from this creature. It's looking pretty rough.
Okay. And I was giving the help to Morwin.
Okay. Morrowind is considered helped. That brings us, unless you're going to move.
I think I'm gonna stay there. Yeah.
Heinrich, what do you want to do?
Running for the door and trying to get it open with the key.
So you turn and sprint over to this door. Using your action, you sink the key into the door. It goes in smoothly. You do see the door kind of weather ever so slightly as you touch the lock. But as you turn it, you hear this kind of like almost like a third sort of snap.
Sure.
Seems as if it's open.
And kick it open.
You kick the door open. Beyond. Give me just 1 second here.
Snaps back.
Yeah, I kick it open and it doesn't because it opens inwards.
Opens.
No, you're kicking it the right way.
Okay, good.
Opens out, hits the stone wall behind
And then
it,
goes-
and snaps right back.
Sweet.
Like
Kicking
stepping
that-
on
I'll
a
just,
rake.
I'll just
And-
paint my face like a clown for the rest of
And
this
it's
too.
a-
Just to, yeah.
Kicking that door open, the door swings open,
Yeah.
and you see in front of you a series of copper rods. The room beyond is massive. It extends out beyond your field of vision into the darkness. It is a darker
Series
room.
of copper rods.
Yeah, there's like a small one, a slightly taller one, a slightly taller one. In the middle of the room, almost at the edge of your vision, 60 feet out, there is this massive one that goes up. It seems to be based almost in like a pool of water. You do see these larger kind of humanoid figures shambling in the darkness, bigger than the zombies that you fought in the previous room.
Ooh, shut the door.
You do see somewhere in the darkness there is elements of light, and you notice sparks.
Yeah,
There's a brief
got it.
moment where you're like, Temple of Court, Temple of
Yeah,
Court.
exactly. First thoughts.
What are you doing?
I mean, I just kind of. So the action was to open the door.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of it,
Right.
right? I'm gonna like stand at the door and like shield out because I see the movement.
You're just like, and
Yeah,
she'll
I was
just
like,
have-
oh,
you don't see
okay.
you don't see the ceiling, you don't see any of the exterior walls. I mean, this is
Yeah.
a massive room.
Sure.
But short, that's your turn. That brings us. The piano's about to come in to tank.
Oh wait, no.
Critical fail.
It's on the cycle.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to take 2 attacks on this stalker. First
Hit one. No?
one's a 15, which misses. and
Me
the second
shield,
one-
me shield, me shield.
Second one's a 7.
Yeah.
So he rushes forward.
You really picked
Just
the
kind
winner.
of swinging
pick anyone,
wide with this big thing. This
so-
again, really quick creature, but he's unable to make any kind of contact. He's going to stay there. That brings us to its turn.
Why?
They have to take
looking
turns,
around,
apparently.
No.
Apparently.
Gunter was the last person to do
Patriarchy.
damage to it. So Gunter, this thing is going to strike at you with its claws.
All according to plan.
That is going to be a 19 to hit.
Ooh, that's gonna hit.
It's going to hit. So let me pull up this guy's stat block real quick. I moved it.
Alright, probably gonna want to take a quick nap after this.
Talon said when you stood up, the camera got better.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, it is nice. Look
Yay.
at that. Thanks, Talon. That is going to be 13 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a strength saving throw.
20!
Oh, crit.
Yeah, this thing again. You feel these claws as it rakes across you begin to extend, and you are able, with your stout dwarven form, just to shove it off of you. It attacks again.
Ooh.
That's going to be a 24 to hit.
Yeah, I think that's gonna hit.
And I need you to make a strength saving throw as you take an additional 14 points of slashing damage.
That's a 17 plus
17.
2.
It begins to pull you in again, and again you're able to shrug it off, although it is beginning to hurt you. And right as you pull away, you see the tail whistling towards you. That is going to be a 21
Oh
to
my
hit.
god, another?
Oh, great.
Jesus.
21 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna get me there.
You take 8 points of piercing damage,
Oh shit.
Okay.
as well as...
Oh my god. Take
3d6 plus one.
Constitution
Where
save.
do my d6s go? Thank you, Dicey.
I'm not looking so hot, boys and girls.
Plus an additional 9 points of piercing damage. As you feel the spikes of the tail impact across you, these little bristles, there is like a heat that emanates across your body as the poison sinks in. You're not poisoned, but it does hurt quite a bit. That is its turn. It is going to stay where it is because it has landed. That brings us to Morwen. Shay, you are on deck.
All
Don't
right.
forget about your aid thing. What
Yep.
does it help?
So you have advantage on your attack, which means you do get sneak attack damage if you do hit.
But
So
it's still
that
a regular
it's at
attack.
disadvantage, so I'm just rolling
So it-
once.
yeah,
Right,
okay,
but you get
cancels
sneak.
out.
All right. I run up
Go
and
ahead.
pass him.
Make your attack.
for a 20.
For a 20, yeah, that hits. Roll your damage.
Yes, Max.
So 13
13.
plus. What happened?
Jumanji.
You threw it straight
Tell
up.
you what, you don't even need to roll your sneak attack damage. You can if you want. But tell us how it happens.
Of course I want to.
Okay,
Okay,
but tell us
roll
how it happens.
As you're rolling.
As you're rolling.
No. Then I won't. Because I'll forget. I didn't think about it. I cut off a wing and I use it and bye! Flap him away with his own wing.
You watch as Morrowind streaks forward with butts the short sword, and you swing down and you cleave straight
I say,
through
bitch,
it.
you scary.
You hear the bone crack, and at the same moment, you take the rapier and you swing through the leathery material. It punctures through, and you begin flapping it in front of it. It makes no sound. It has no face. You can't tell if your joke lands. However, as you flap it, you pierce forward one last time with the rapier, and it skewers it through the head. You pull away, the wing slaps down. The creature itself falls.
Slash on page.
At this moment, it is dead. 12 seconds have passed.
12 seconds.
You
If
guys
the
are
body-
technically out of combat. However, your spell is
Even with the
finite.
shit in the doorway?
So
And kicking it open?
What do you mean?
From what I did? When I opened the door and kicked it open, I saw, like,
Humanoid
figures.
shapes.
That's happening as this is happening.
Yeah,
But 12 seconds have passed since he cast his spell.
Technically
so,
not in combat.
you guys technically not in combat. What do you want to do?
I want to
Door's open, come on in.
see if I can take a moment to fill up. I have a glass jar.
Gunter, this is really going quick, so you know that there's about 30 seconds left in this spell.
Get out of here, let's get out of here, let's get out of here.
Leave and go move on to get the crystal pet.
All right, someone get Thistle, and
Grab the bag, grab the bag.
lop
I'm
off.
gonna-
I
I'm gonna-
lop off the poison
I'm gonna
tail.
snatch the bag
Okay,
that's
make
in
a
the...
strength check.
I'm just grabbing all the
3.
shit
I
that's
three
still in
again.
Make a
the-
dexterity check. 3.
I try
Sleight
again.
of hand.
Okay, that's going to take you right to the edge of this, just
Is
so you know.
this Sleight of hand? Or a straight
Dexterity,
dex?
straight dex.
Fuck.
You're
Worth
not
it.
stealing.
Where is everybody? Are they all ran out?
Gunter, as you run, you with your little pruny hands, you snatch up. You going for the bag?
I'm going for everything.
Okay, you snatch up the
I'm just
wand.
scooping it all.
You can add a wand. You can add a small velvet pouch.
I might want to grab
You
this
can
elf.
add-
I don't want it to be attacked.
Sorry, one sec. You can also add a.
What about coins?
Yeah, you can add 40 gold coins.
I'm not waiting.
And you begin
No.
to dart out. You get out. You get out. Tank
not waiting.
grabs Thistle, and they are leaving through the door as you try.
Nope. I'm going to change my plan of action if that's all right.
You already
Do
said
it.
it, so you're doing it. So you're
Oh, I
you're
wanted to grab the elf. Okay.
rough. Yeah, Elf, stand behind. It looks like. What are you doing? What's your attack roll? Or your strength check? Sorry.
Do I get to roll again?
Yep.
Okay.
Again, you're trying to cut off what? The tail?
It's too rubbery.
It's not just too rubbery, but there is like thick bone that extends through this. You can't quite get through it. At this moment, you can begin to hear this kind of, and the energy is beginning to kind of sizzle around where you remember that last creature being. What do you want to do? You're the only one left in the room.
I would have also stopped
I
everyone from
start-
getting into the pool of water.
I start
The water's
running,
like 60 feet away.
but
good,
I'm
okay,
going to
good,
try to
great.
grab the elf hand and run out.
Okay. Make a. So the way that this is going to work,
Yeah.
it's going. So okay, make a sleight of hand check. Give you.
Ooh, that's okay.
This elf is reminding me a lot of the one that we found underneath the ground in.
Just gotta
This.
leave them alone.
So that is
especially.
a.
Well, I just
Sorry.
mean like
Skin tone,
like
maybe?
like no, not her, him specifically, but like elves in weird places.
Stranger in a strange land.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just elves in
Really?
weird places.
Elves and
Really?
weird
7.
Displaced.
You
into
reach
lots
out
of
and you
pillars that
grab
don't exist,
this
et cetera,
elf's
et
hand, and
cetera.
in an instant, you watch as she turns, and just her skin becomes like a little bit more, like, a little bit darker. She turns to you and in Elvish, just says, "The light." In this moment, the final creature just back into appearance, and you're gonna pull her away. Okay.
Her?
You step
Her.
forward,
Okay.
and as you pull her, it is a her.
Okay.
I was saying, Elvish, come with me.
It's going to get its attack of opportunity, which is pretty brutal.
You just revived this elf to basically kill it.
I whisper to her, bonus action, uncanny dodge.
As this she appears and just goes, the light! You watch as this like raked claw slashes across the neck and almost severs the entire thing. The head is nearly ripped off, and there is this gout of blood that splashes like onto your face as you turn away. You feel the hand go limp in yours. You can drag the body if you want.
I drop it and I run.
Okay.
And I say in Elvish, sorry.
I feel like
You
she
get
wouldn't
to
have
the
been
door.
attacked if you had.
You get to the door with 5 feet left, and turning around, you can see this creature is beginning to rush forward, and it's quick. What do you guys want to do?
Shut the
shutting
door.
The
The
door.
door? Okay. In terms of initiative, it would be Shay. So Shay, you slam the door shut, and as you do, there's like a second, and then you hear this big boom. But there is no scratching, and you don't hear anything else. And for the moment, I'm gonna take you guys out of combat. However, you are in a different room, and the temperature and the ambient sort of feeling of it is very different. It's humid and warm.
It's hot. Sorry, I'm
This again.
not feeling good either.
All right, clear the map. Hold on.
Yeah.
Help someone.
Nice small maps that are really detailed and ready for very large map that is yes.
Yay.
Big room.
Let's go swimming.
Big room. Oh, I see it.
I need.
Where are we coming out of?
Let's see all you guys over here. So we had Heinrich first. Here. You can say
Glass.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
You guys would have to be here. Thistle and Temple.
Oh, the pool's only around the central bit. Okay, I thought it was around all of the columns.
We're gonna have Gunter also right here. The shapes that you see, you can't make them out well, but I will say you can see shapes here, here. And in this moment, you can smell a couple things. Give me 1 second.
The list of smells.
I'm trying to focus on smells, you know? I
Yeah, I
really
can
feel
tell.
like they're important.
It's one sense at a time.
One sense at
The
a
next
time.
room's just gonna feel like a lot of stuff. The next one's gonna sound like a lot of
It'll
things.
sound like a number of things. So,
Shit, we gotta
this
turn.
room is incredibly high ceilinged. And again, there is this moment where you're kind of torn back, not to Cord's temple this time, but to the Temple of Tasada. And you remember sort of the reverse sort of pyramidal shape of it, and very similar in that way. And as your eyes are drawn up, you can see that there are runes that are beginning to glow. They seem to be attached to bits of metal that extend up into the ceiling and then somewhere beyond. And as those bits of metal begin to glow slightly brighter, you get the sense that this might be some kind of like a ground or a discharge from something else. But in this moment, there is currently this very, very dull kind of, which is slowly building. What do you guys want to do?
Everyone, get away from these copper columns.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm gonna move over away in like the in between area.
I'm gonna need to rest. I'm looking pretty worn
No
down.
time to
Yeah, I'm
rest,
pretty,
my
I'm
guy.
pretty hurt too.
Who's following?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the other way.
I'm gonna give it like a 6.
We don't have.
I'll go
I'm
with
not
Morwen.
going near Tank with all his fucking metal bullshit
Yeah,
and
I'll go
his
with
shield. Are you
Morwen.
serious?
Going with Morwen?
Yep.
So you guys branch off to this side. Gunter, where are you going?
I think I'm going this way.
Wait, what are the walls like?
Quickly glancing as the sound is building, they look as if they're built out of stone. Same kind of stone, not bricks, but looks as if this whole space has been carved.
Should have gone with Tang.
Nah, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I got
I'm
one
not
of
gonna
these.
hide. All right.
There's this build of this
I do too, actually.
sound, and there is this bright light, and you see lightning extend out an arc from the top down into the central. It scatters across, and then arcs like leaping into each sort of going smaller and smaller until it gets to the end and kind of crackles down into the ground. In this moment, you do see these shambling figures, similar in ways to those zombies. You can see the skin is tight and drawn against it, but the skin is different colors. There are elements of similar to thistle, like furbolg skin, but also human, and these things are stitched together.
Ew.
And as kind of close over here, you can see that this copper rod, as it sparks from the final impact of lightning, like it explodes out of the ground, and you hear a loud clang, clang, clang as it rattles down. And you begin to watch as these shapes shift and kind of lumber off in that direction. I would say at that distance, you kind of lose sight of specifics, but you see they seem almost as if they're attending to whatever just displaced over there.
So it's
The
like
rod?
the lightning show at the Science Museum.
Something like that.
So the rod displaced?
Seems like it, yeah. From what you heard, you can't necessarily even.
Well, I can't from where I am. but-
You can't, but you guys can see that one of the rods did like eject out of the ground and kind of rattle away, and these creatures kind of seem to be pursuing it.
Let's all wait to see how long these intervals are. Since we didn't get smacked. So we might be in a safe spot where we are.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Not
fuck
do
you.
that.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Aid on myself at level 4.
Okay.
Hefty.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you're
it's totally
highly
been an hour, so my temporary hit
Um,
point maximum is down
So
back.
that also gives each of you
That's your phone.
plus 15 max
The-
HP.
the spilling
and
begins.
and current HP.
Nice.
Temporary?
No, it's max for the next 8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, that was mine 8 hours too?
You're not anyway.
No, but when you cast it in the forest last session.
Yeah.
Oh, so then it
You're
still
still
is.
going, yeah,
So
you're
it
fine.
still is
Yeah,
75.
but you only had the 10.
Yeah, the 10, that's fine.
Wait, I'm sorry. So I gain 15
So
hit
you gain
points?
15 hit points, and your max hit points go up for 15.
Cool.
So as Gunter casts Aid,
Thank
you
you.
feel like this almost within you, this rumble, and you do feel stronger, and as if the toll of the last battle is somewhat lessened.
I puke out the poison.
Okay.
No, I know. I
Didn't have any poison in you, but you kind of like this little bit of hair comes out
It looks poisonous.
Gross.
in a certain light. What do you guys want to do?
I mean,
These
just
creatures
wait.
now, from your perspective, you can see as a group, they heft up this huge rod of copper. And as a group, now as they get closer, you do see, you saw creatures similar, although much smaller, within the Midnight Assembly Temple. These appear to be flesh golems. You get the sense, not terribly bright, they haven't spotted you guys yet.
Mm.
Wait, I see this, or the
You
three of
see
us
this,
do?
the three of you.
Oh, okay.
Well, 2. Do you have your torch still?
Probably not.
Well, then I tell you because I know that you're blind.
I got dark vision too. Yeah, we both got dark vision.
I don't.
Not Shay. So this is a dark room. You did see the creatures in that like flash of lightning, but other than that, pretty dark.
Oh, you know what? Do I have anything to write on? Oh, actually, I open up the diary and
Okay.
I tear out like a random page. No, I don't have
Okay.
anything to write with it.
So you tear
What diary?
his diary. There's a moment where, as you tear it, you do see there is new writing on this page, but as you rip it, the writing
On the middle?
fades.
Oh, I'm doing a rando.
So the way that this diary works, there are a bunch of pages. When you open it, the page that you open it to, I would say you've kind of learned this now that you've had it for a little bit. Whatever page you open it to, the most recent entry from the diary it's linked to will appear. However, you rip the page out, so the writing just fades off of it. You don't get to see it. It did appear as if it was in Elvish. It appeared a little bit more urgent. No idea what it said, but you now hold a blank piece of parchment of spell paper quality.
Do you guys have anything to write with? Alright,
So Gunter tosses you.
I write because I don't really know how
Kind
to.
of throws you a quill. He hits you a quill.
Goes
Flash
like 2 feet and then flops.
Golems. Electric? Question mark.
And who do you hand that to?
I fold it into a paper plane and I try to shoot it over to the other group.
Make a dexterity. Make a sleight of hand check. We'll call it. You're good at that. And
Why don't you just?
I will
snuck
say it's a
go
little
over there?
weird. It's not like a paper
Because we don't
airplane
know
necessarily.
how long the
The
electricity intervals
It's
are.
It's like a folded piece of paper.
You kind of
such
ball
that
An
it-
air
Would you roll?
sail.
Would you roll?
24.
You make a very, very aerodynamic ball of paper, and you lob it across the way. I would say, based on where you guys are, I forgot my.
All
flesh
right, it's
columns.
electric. Boogie oogie. No, I don't.
These are flesh columns. They're technically large creatures. I just forgot them because I painted them. But they're lumbering, and actually, they're currently carrying this rod towards where it's supposed to go. Heinrich, this ball of paper just kind of at your feet.
Okay. I pick it up.
You unfold it, and it says, and the writing is really poor quality.
Yeah.
And there's like misspellings, and one of the letters is backwards.
Yeah.
But you gather that it says light flesh columns, and then there's like an exclamation mark, and then there's been like some other marks added to make it a question mark.
Yeah.
Lightning?
Yeah. I kind of go, aw.
There's some like fur on it too.
Yeah. So now I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can guess from the writing, like you've seen Shay, like with coded messages and things like that. Gunter's been alive for 287 years
Yeah.
old. You imagine he can write.
That's why I
This is
laughed.
Morrowind writing or Thistle writing, probably. But
But
yeah,
he's right behind me, so it wouldn't
have-
be.
what are you doing?
I chuckle, and I know that, and I'm like, okay. I kind of
My
look,
question mark is backwards.
yeah.
Upside down.
I wanna scan the room. Are all of the poles in place? Are all of so the
Perception
runes?
check.
So also the runes that 15.
15.
So the runes that are hovering in the air attached to
The runes
things that keep
themselves
going or
aren't
whatever.
hovering. You can see that they're carved into stone on the roof.
Okay.
Very distantly, you can't actually see the roof, but you can see the way that they're carved in. They're fairly even across. You'd imagine they're on a roof or
Sure,
some kind
sure.
of beam.
But basically, are they centered above a certain place? Or are they just randomly up there? And also, like, are all of the rods in place aside from the one that the flesh golems are putting back?
Make an intelligence check.
Okay, but with a 15, that didn't sort of like all of the rods are in place and all that kind of.
It's
crap?
gonna tell you something, but I want to see. Yeah.
I mean, with the intelligence, that's just a 5.
5. Okay. So you do see that the rods. There seems to be 3 on either side of this, on any of the 4 sides,
Yeah.
cardinally from this central one.
Yeah.
They all appear to be in place, except for the one that these other ones now are lumbering for. They seem to be about to plant it back in place.
Mm-hmm.
You get the sense those runes, they're uniformly distributed, but you don't get a sense as to why or what they're distributed around.
Mhm.
They don't seem above anything in particular, just kind of floor.
Mm-hmm.
You do see, with that perception check, there are doors in this chamber, 3 of them. The one behind you that you emerge from.
Yeah.
You also see there is a door off to the left there and off to the right there.
Okay.
They appear wooden, but it's difficult to see the one on the other side. The one nearest you, it's wooden. It's heavy. There is a chain around the. It is like a latch kind of deal that is pinned into the wall that kind of disappears into the wall. Seems very heavy and well secured.
Okay. I'll take the ball of paper and write back. Not that Morin would read it, but
Excuse you.
check door near golems. Just basically like go check out that door that's over there
Okay.
and see if there's a chain on it. And then I throw it back.
All right. Without this time not having to roll because you have this kind of shape and you know where it's going. You chuck this back and you see kind of in the darkness this little shape and then it at your feet.
I'm gonna go also like closer, but not super close to the other door, like ushering those others to come with me a little bit, but not.
They
You know.
follow you. Tank is like kind
Yeah.
of following backwards.
Yeah, it'd be obvious to stay away from lightning and all that stuff.
Seems like it. He seems especially uncomfortable in this room.
Oh yeah, of course. I
And
mean,
you can
this
see
or rust. I don't know. It's one or the other.
His
but...
skin is also like getting kind of like red. It's hot in here,
Okay.
and he's wearing full plate mail.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch and wait to see what happens when the lightning strikes the last pole and see if it like arcs to the chain or whatever. But
Makes you want to go sleep on Gunter?
Morwen, what are you doing? You got that note?
I'm a short rest away from the inroad.
it basically said check the door near the golems, see if it's locked.
Do I read all that?
I would say, yeah.
There's a locked door near the golems? No, I'm just kidding. I understand it.
Yeah, you get the gist of it. You see door, you see locked.
Near you.
Yeah, you get the idea, and you kind of look over, you see a door.
All right, I check the door.
Okay. Are you sneaking over?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
hell
golems
yeah.
right
Oh,
there.
wait. Oh, no, I'm good. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd have to pass the rods, too. Has it gone off
You
yet?
don't have to like
So
go
in this
super
moment,
close.
you watch as these three hulking creatures, almost as one, there is this, and this clang as it slams home. It seems to kind of and shuffle finally into place. Looking up, you still don't see the glow of anything.
I approach snuggly.
Make your stealth check.
Snuggly. 16.
16.
Not my best.
Okay. With the 16, where are you going? You're going right up to the door? I mean, you're going to be within 10 feet of them.
You know what? Okay. Let me hug the wall
Okay.
about it.
You hug the wall about it.
Where's this door? Do I see it from there?
Yeah, and you creep along the wall. You keep your back to it. As you do, the wall is moist.
Ew.
Yeah.
That
I
sucks.
drew that word out on purpose. It's moist. You rub against it. There's like a ambient humidity to this air for sure. But you slide along, and you get to the door. They are 10, 15 feet away. They're standing idly, like they put that through. Their arms dropped, but they're all standing in the exact same spot, and they're just waiting. They're kind of like swaying ever so slightly. They're not frozen, but they seem to have a very specific task within this room. You would imagine probably not a great idea to make your presence known,
Yeah.
but for the moment you feel hidden.
Which way are they facing?
1, 2, so to put them as they are currently facing, this one is looking like right past you. This one is here, and this one would have stepped back to right here. 2 of them are looking in your general direction. They still don't seem to see you. In mechanical terms, real low passive perception.
I think I might cautiously wait for the next lightning thing to go off. I feel like I don't want to. I don't know. 16 to me is not very comfortably hidden.
Sure. You wait. 10 seconds go by. Half a minute. 2 minutes.
Nothing's happening.
Doesn't seem like it. Make an intelligence check.
4.
Any second now. What are the rest of you guys doing? Kind of watch as Morwen disappears. Shay, you like hear where she is. You don't see her, but you kind of get a sense as to where Morwen is. Passive perception 17. But you guys just watch as Morwen vanishes into the darkness.
Okay, I'm gonna tell Thistle and Tank to go around and rejoin the other group.
Tank is gonna sort of look and say, "I think it's a bad idea."
Just trust me. Go find
Gunter,
Gunter and Shay.
Oh,
do you think you can lead me over to the right?
Make a persuasion
the others
check.
to where the others are.
I have an idea.
Yeah, I just need a quick pick me up. Just smack myself.
12.
I don't think I can get the big guy across there quietly. Give it a second. Let's see if there's going to be another strike.
I'm gonna
Well,
use Beacon of Hope.
there's a reason though. There's a reason why I'm doing all of this. I'm gonna stay behind, but you go join them and
Running out of slots.
Okay, so you're casting Beacon of Hope.
Beacon of Hope. So
What is happening
you
simultaneously again?
Any creatures within 30 feet of me for the next minute has advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws and regains the maximum number of hit points from any healing. Then I'm going to drink the healing potion that I have. Like, just need a quick refresh.
Give me 1 second. From any healing. Okay, so yeah, you give me
like
just
lay
1
hands
second.
or something.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't produce any light. So you kind of close your eyes and you think to yourself, you gotta.
Let's go. We got this. Whoa! Alright.
And as Gunter says,
We
"Woo," as the verbal component to the spell, you do feel this kind of
You
thrumming
feel this too.
strength within you. You do too, very uncomfortable, almost this like
Unwanted.
energy, this adrenaline, not quite haste, but this feeling of power. And then you pop open this healing potion and just slam it down.
Just like,
Yeah. You add, I think it's 10 points of healing. to
Yeah,
your-
2d4 plus 2.
And you
Alright.
feel this liquid just sink into you and heat you from within.
now I'm serviceable. I'm gonna start walking, expecting Shay to follow behind.
Reach
Where are
out
you?
very quickly and grab his shoulder.
Okay.
What?
Are you allowing Shay to stop you?
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Not
What's
a
up?
slap, but like a grab, like I'm grabbing onto him.
Okay.
Huh? What?
So you slowly go forward now, leading Shay across this dark chamber, which you remember Shay does not. Well, I don't know
Yeah.
if Gunter knows or not, but perhaps Gunter knows.
Like,
You guys make
you
your
can
way
grab
across.
on my cloak and I probably
No,
wouldn't
this isn't
notice.
what I wanted to do.
As you make your way across, or I'm saying, they're making their way across. Heinrich, what are you trying to do? They're not moving. They're just standing there.
Well, no, I'm not going to do what I want to do anymore
Okay.
because everyone's ruined it. So.
I would like to do something.
Lauren,
while
what do you
they're
want to do?
doing that. I'm going to take one of my ball bearings
Okay.
and I'm going to try to like huck it as far as I can over here.
Okay.
And I want to specifically get through like the line of electricity to see if it's when something passes.
Okay. Make a.
I think because my ball bearings, they must be metal.
there.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wooden ball
It's a
bearings.
ranged attack.
Those are
You're not proficient in
mothballs.
bearings, but you're just throwing it. Make a. What's your strength score?
10.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check.
426.
Yeah. You take this little ball bearing and you just huck it into the darkness.
One ball bearing
You
down.
lose track of it fairly quickly. It's a ball bearing in the dark, but you do hear this.
I
kind
just
of-
want to see if it triggers though.
Yeah, it goes. You kind of catch it as it goes past. Doesn't seem to trigger anything. You do hear ting, ting, and as you hear that metallic sound, you do see these three heads just all, and you just begin to lumber off towards that metallic sound. So they're all progressing in this direction now.
Uh-oh.
All right. While they're, or unless you guys want to do something.
You do hear like a ting, 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 ting. Anybody?
Me?
I
Unless
guess
someone else
no.
wants to
I'd
do
be
something
like
after I did that.
I would
This
tell.
way over to
Yeah, I mean, if she threw it that way, it sounded like it's coming closer to me. I'd be like,
No, I threw it over here.
yeah, that's on this side.
That's-
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
It's away from me.
I'd say, all right, guys, let's go to the other side. Let's regroup with Morwen, like quietly.
Heard it right now. He's too sleepy. It's so far away.
Fair enough. Hearing that sound, you can
I'm
finally
like,
see. You see this
Those creatures are
moment
heading that way. Let's go this
of
way.
indecision from Tank, and then he kind of just nods.
Yeah, like
He
this.
puts a hand on the back
follow.
of Thistle.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. And you guys make your way. Where are you going to go to?
Just like around the wall towards.
So you guys get to about here, and you
So
see
you just bump
Gunter.
into each other.
You see Gunter kind of just shuffling forward with Shay like tightly gripped on
Yeah.
Gunter's shoulder.
Where are you going?
We're gonna get you.
We don't need to be got. We're going this way.
You
And
hear
I
this,
just
you
walk
don't
by.
necessarily see
This
it,
is
but
very
you hear this.
quiet, and just like we're going back. Turn around.
Came out this way.
So you guys make your way around. You watch as they, kind of get off, and as they end up over, and they kind of disappear from your vision. You would see the form of these third creatures standing there. They're just all around where you would imagine that bearing ended up, just kind of looking down.
All right. I'm
I'm sure it takes them a bit of time to get there anyway, though. 'Cause
Yeah,
they're so
yeah, they're
spread.
How far would
So
we
I'm
go in that time?
so now
You
that
guys
they're
can
gone.
get all the way over there.
Let's
The time
get
it
all
takes
the way
them to
over
get over
there.
there. Sure.
So
put
now that
them
they're
over.
gone, I'm investigating the shit out of this door.
Make an
Yeah, let's get
investigation
this
check.
fucking door. Let's get this door open.
20.
20.
Sorry.
Looking at this
One more
door.
time. One more
Jesus
time.
Christ.
I've had so much coffee.
Yeah, you are a tiny human.
Looking at this.
But your alcohol intake versus coffee though.
As you look at this door, it is a wooden door, fairly normal iron fastenings, though old. It is not locked.
Hold on. Everyone's all around me all of a sudden?
Yeah.
And as you're like, as you kind of like pull away from this, you
I like
feel
lean.
this
Hold
like
on. I would lean forward and go snuck in your ear.
No, I'm just kidding.
stab him.
No,
Oh
no.
my god, no.
It was a
Sneak
soft
attack.
paw. It was a soft paw.
40 points of softball damage to Hunter. This group is all around you. You're kind of intently looking through, but it is an unlocked door. It doesn't appear trapped.
All right. Does it?
So it's a knob, and you turn the knob, and as you swing it open,
I meant to say, yeah. Does it open this way? And
It opens for you.
If it does, I'm gonna.
sure, it swings open, and this is a very long hallway. There is something weird about the hall. It's not full of glass, and there's no real like field. You don't feel anything stopped, but there is this strange kind of smell again of hot ozone that you smelled back in that study-like room. That smell of something being sort of moved and realigned where it should not be, and it seems to be coming strongly from the end of the hallway. Make an intelligence check, Morwen.
11.
Okay. The hallway extends far enough that it extends into darkness, even for those of you with dark vision. It is a long hallway, and it ever so slightly seems to arc upwards, but very, very faintly. What do you guys want to do?
Go back and check the other one.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm at least gonna tell you guys.
Why don't we
This smells.
just send her, and then she can come back?
Yeah, that
Says
seems,
who?
That seems reasonable.
That other door had
Just a
a,
suggestion.
That
You're
other
allowed
door-
to
No,
go ahead
says
and-
who?
Oh, Tank. Sorry.
that other
Oh,
door
if Tank
had a
says it, I'm
chain.
totally doing it.
That other door had a chain that looked like it was locked.
She can pick locks.
Great. Go pick the lock, and I shoosh you over to go get the door because I don't want
Guidance.
to go all the way over there. Guidance.
I was about to say, if you don't guidance me from that, I'm gonna be very offended.
Long description, no guidance.
You feel this
It's
kind of
elaborate
jolt of
thing,
energy
and
as you...
It's not guidance.
So, where's the other door? All
It's
the way over here?
all the way across, yeah,
Outside.
opposite side.
The door right on the map.
There.
All right.
Looks door-shaped.
Then I'll be like, okay, be right back.
So you creep across without too much issue. You,
Do
as
I
you
have
pass,
to roll to be re-snuck?
You
Because
don't,
everyone
no.
just fucking crowded my shit?
You don't, and also you also recognize at this point. I mean, they're all just staring.
Oh.
It's when they hear, it seems like metal fall, they approach.
Oh, which is great.
Oh, so
They
that's
have
a very
really,
good move
They
on
have
my
a really
part.
low
Proud of me.
We can guide
perception,
these things
so
around
you're
the room.
fairly
so we both
easy
have
to
cemetery.
move.
We can just
Okay.
make sounds somewhere in the room.
So, yeah, I approach the door.
Make an investigation check.
You're at that door.
19.
You're at that
You
door.
also get your guidance.
Don't
Toss, Marlon.
throw me like that.
Yeet.
Yeet.
You've been
20.
You were yut.
Okay.
You were yut.
It actually
the past
makes a
tense?
difference.
Yo.
Really? Okay.
Is
You
that
examine this
guidance?
door. The chain itself is a weird metal. Old, kind of greenish, but not patinaed like copper. Something within the ore itself gives it a strange color. There's this massive padlock on it. Although, unlike other doors, not terribly complicated. You do notice with a 20, there is elements of wet blood coming from beneath the door on the other side. Wet, red blood, recent.
Yeah, I run back.
Okay.
Oh,
You guys hear in the darkness, like little feet sounds, and you appear.
Yeah, there's blood, fresh blood coming from underneath that door, so
okay, this
Hard.
seems more reasonable.
Hard,
then.
I
I'm
don't
gonna,
know.
Like, step in.
Okay.
Well,
Step in.
I'm going
Long
to
hallway.
wait.
And
I'm still holding Gunter's cloak, so
proceed
going
down
with
the
ya.
hallway.
In all
I'll grab
fairness,
your
with,
shoulder and
with
be like,
my
don't go with
sight,
him.
or with dark vision in general, I guess just like
Okay.
looking at this
I'll
room,
let go,
do we know
'cause
that
it's
there
not like I
isn't a
want to be
door
attached
here?
to Gunter's.
Like
Yeah.
there's no, it's just these three.
As you walked past, looking over, you would see just a flat wall. You don't know that there's no door there necessarily, but there's no immediately visible, obvious door.
Alright, then I'm not gonna bother. Okay. Oh, you have little drawings on it.
Yeah, I know. Remember,
I didn't mean to
Smart.
cheat. I was
do-
just wondering.
I do draw
Huh?
some
Grab your
maps for
shoulder.
you
Yeah.
guys.
No, I know.
I'm
I
going
just
to-
if
I
they're
gotcha, I
yeah.
gotcha.
For the purpose of like moving these things further away, I'm gonna use thaumaturgy to make another metal clang sound like on the opposite end of the room from where we are.
Okay. You guys hear this kind of almost like a pipe creaking. It's kind of kang, and
Yeah.
there is this kind of. None of you from where you are can see it,
Mhm.
but you do hear shuffling
Mhm.
in the darkness.
Just like directing them away from.
Yeah, and they follow that
Yeah.
sound. So you guys stand at the edge of a very long, dark hallway. The smell of hot ozone rolling down it.
Is there anything in this hallway that actually?
Well, who you went in first?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna proceed down the hallway,
Okay.
keeping my eyes open.
Kind of pull
for
your
any
bandages up
traps.
around you and
Once
begin to shuffle down.
everyone gets through the door, I'm gonna close it behind
Sure.
us.
Everybody gets
I'll
through.
take the rear in front of you, or second to last.
And Shay is holding on to me, so
I'm last.
No, she's
then.
holding. Oh
No,
wait.
she's holding on to me
I'm
now.
now on to.
Oh,
I
then
grabbed
I'm, then
I
I'm
grabbed
right
her
behind
off of
What
Gunter.
about Thistle? Thistle's probably
In between.
This is
In
the
the middle.
falling tank.
So Thistle and Tank are in between. It's Shay and I in the rear, you two in the front, and Thistle and Tank in the middle.
Okay. Seems reasonable.
As you shut the door,
Mhm.
there is alternating about 5 feet, about 10 feet between
I
them.
don't like this one.
There are what appear to be just regular torches, although they seem to ignite as if by magic.
Mhm.
They light this hallway a little bit better. It extends about 100 feet down,
Mhm.
ever so slightly curving up. And at the end of it, there appears to be some kind of maybe an archway. Now that you can see it, you do see that there is some kind of wind moving beyond it. And very faintly, you can hear this kind of
Mhm.
a constant wind.
Mhm.
That smell is coming from there. You can't see much beyond it, although you can almost swear you see starlight.
Mhm.
I'm gonna let go of your shoulder while it's lit,
Yeah, that's
just
fine.
lit in
but
here.
I'm not
No, it's
straying
yeah,
too far.
it's fine. Preach.
All right, where's that crystal? Crystal pedestal. Crystal pedestal.
Maybe it's at the end of this hallway, Gunter.
Yeah, let's keep going.
All right.
I go snuck. I want to go ahead of Gunter.
I'm gonna consider.
It's
Lit,
okay. So
narrow
just
hallway.
it is a
well,
5
lit as we
feet
are walking
wide
by them,
hallway.
right?
I'm,
So
Or
the
is it?
hall-
Are they
hallway's
all
about-
lit?
I'm
it's all lit.
considering-
Oh,
did
never
it-
mind.
yeah.
I'm
did
sorry.
it
I thought it was
light,
while we're walking by them.
no.
Okay.
Did it light because the door shut behind us?
Make an intelligence
At the
check.
moment that the door shut, it did happen, but
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's
I would
just
wonder this.
coincidence
Honestly,
or
I would
not.
Make
wonder
an
the same
intelligence check.
thing.
Sure.
There's no
Yeah,
reason why
that's an 11.
18.
Gunter, you kind of look at it and you're like, oh, coincidences. Heinrich, you thinking about it a little bit, those creatures in there react to sound. They might react to sight too, and so it would make sense to keep a hallway dark that you do not want them to enter.
Right.
So you imagine, yes, it's probably some
Yeah,
kind
while
of
the door's
enchantment
open, it's-
or...
yeah. Okay, cool. Cool.
Happy little coincidences.
You hear Gunter muttering to himself as he
I
progresses.
thaumaturgy whisper, go.
Oh,
Go. Just echoes down the hallway.
No,
The
just-
flames all flicker. It's thaumaturgy.
ease up, I'm moving.
I
guys
loudly
become
whisper.
You progress down the hallway. Who's in the lead?
Gunter.
Gunter. You walk 20 feet, 40 feet. The humidity is fading and it is again getting chilly.
Good. I'm like, oh.
You
That's
emerge
better.
to a stone archway, and beyond it, there are mesas of brown sand and dirt and rock. Some of them going up into the darkness, and as you look up, you can see stars. You would imagine it should only be maybe 6 o'clock. Should be some kind of, sunset. But it is dark, and the stars are strangely alien.
Are we
Maybe
still,
not stars. Make a perception check.
Are we still inside? That's a tough one. Oh wait, no, that's saving throws. That's a 7.
Okay, squinting up, it's hard to make out. You do see, though, right in the middle of this large open space, with a little bit of light coming down from whatever shines above, there is a long sliver of metal sticking out of this sort of monolith of brown stone. And there's a moment where this purple arcane lightning crackles down, and you do see illuminated now little stones that seem to be shedding light almost like stars. You are inside, but this is a massively cavernous room.
Can I con those stones?
Sure. But in this moment, Morwen, you notice that the stones, or the rock sticking from within this monolith, is a rapier. And it does seem to shimmer ever so faintly. And you remember now that Sade had shown you a map with a strange glyph on it. And thinking about it,
The snail.
this glyph may line up with where this is underneath the ground. For what it's worth.
For what it's worth, snail socks.
17.
17.
Smooth snailings.
The stone matches up with elements of rock you've seen within these caverns. I mean, this is maybe a natural space, although looking down at the ground, the rock is all different here. It's different. It smells different. And in this room, there is that hot ozone smell. And looking around at the edges, you can see areas where this sort of mesa-like structure is cleanly hewn. This entire space seems to have been moved from some other place. And in this moment, as you look around, you do see beyond one of these large bits of rock a very large shape moving. And because it is 12:30, that is where we're going to end for tonight.
We should
So,
leave.
Thank
We
you
found
guys
the
very
Titan.
much for tuning in. It is not quite Titanic in size,
Oh,
but
okay.
it is
Big.
The
Bigger
actual
than
It's a big.
beast with money.
It's a big
eyes.
boy.
it is bigger than large.
Yeah.
It's chonky.
It is bigger than huge.
Well,
I would say this thing, from what you can see, is about 30 to 40 feet tall.
I think free action poop myself.
The hot ozone smell is replaced now. So,
Yeah.
anyways, thank you guys very much for tuning in. I really appreciate everybody who comes in and supports us. Quick shout out
Cheers
to
to you.
Fat Boy, to Talon, to Dicey Encounters, to Drew, of course. There's somebody that I wanted to say.
Mossy Frog. Mossy Frog.
You're gonna shout out Mossy Frog. Yeah.
Mossy Frog. Mossy Frog, yeah, right. Mossy Frog. Thank you very much for donating the bits. Anything that people donate, really, really helpful to the
Bits and
show.
shits.
Lets us do a lot of cool things. We have a lot of really cool plans and things that we'll be announcing as we go. A couple of quick closing things. I think next week you're not going to be here, or you're going to be super late, or what's the deal?
Probably gonna be not here.
Not here. So we're going to be down at Gunter, which is going to be really interesting.
It's gonna be
Oh,
tough. I mean,
No.
Maybe a one shot.
31.
I mean, it's up
To be
you guys.
determined. To be
So
determined.
we'll
TBD.
announce
TBD.
tomorrow or the next day what we're going to do on Friday. It could be a one shot, might be Alberon, we'll see. But thank you guys very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. But also,
Yeah, that's. Oh, that's a tough